Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the show that answers the question why will need it arrested. Ladies and gentlemen and bees, thank you for coming. We are talking about heavy shit right now, and we will start in a bit. We are just waiting for people to come in. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. We are just right now calling everyone. Fabulous. Are we on Twitch? I can't check from here. I'm like honestly, honest to God, this is too much today. Yeah, we are on Twitch as well. Perfect. Okay, perfect. No, we are on. We are on. I checked. It's okay. Okay. Jesus, there's so much information today. It is annoyingly too much. Like the amount of information that is pouring in today is just astounding. Like I don't know if we can call it war. This is an invasion. This is a colonial attack at this point. And like calling it a war may be too much. Too much of like one-sidedness in this scenario. Okay, so the vice president, I think, is in Russia, right? If I'm not wrong. So, if I know correctly, both of the vice president, her like Delcy Rodriguez, she's in Russia. She has fled. So both of the ruling sides are currently in like I don't know what I forgot the word. No, I'm reading the news in the like Visgrad 24 actually pushed the news out. So it sounds more credible at least. I have heard it from like a few different sources that the currently both sides, so both like Machado and the current ruling heads are out. So Machado might make a re-entrance within the region. Let's see. But like I don't honestly think this is going to work as they want it to work, because Venezuelan people are still self-determinant enough not to oppose like the US takeover of Venezuela altogether, even if they do not stop like the takeover of like the fall of Maduro. They might stop the takeover of US, which we can honestly hope for at this point. That is, I think, the best case scenario right now, that US can't have full control over US and Israel, obviously. Which is weird. Which is weird. Like Israel shouldn't be in the conversation, but it is. Like it is like the second half of America. Like if you want to do something, you have to go through. So yeah, see, the plan is to install Machado at this point, but Machado, what? Okay, so for people who don't know, we are also live on Twitch, and I'm like I have chats both open here. So if you don't see a message, they are on Twitch, or if you don't see a message on Twitch, they are on YouTube. So the plan is to install Machado, but Machado also is not very famous. Like the rich white people who of Venezuela are in support of Machado, but not like the public. Like the people who have been kicked out of Venezuela over the past few years over whatever the fuck reason, are in support of Machado. I think the concentration is mostly in America right now, but Machado is still not that famous within Venezuela itself, I would argue. So Machado will like Machado takeover is going to be hard. Like it's going to be extremely hard. It's like suppose in India, like Trump comes in, attacks India, kidnaps like Modi, and the next one in line is like I don't know, Mamta Banerjee. Not even like Congress or anything. Mamta Banerjee. So it's like Machado gave the embassy statement long. Yeah, no. The Israel thing is old. I know. I just like the mention here for Israel as well is like because there's a timeline that is going on, and we'll be covering that timeline. So hence the Israel mention, because when Machado was when she got the Nobel Peace Prize, and then she gave it away to Trump, she also called on to Israel and Bibi. So it's like it is old by like it's old as October. And I mean, old as October is like when it comes to the news and breaking news, that's like quite old, as years passed away. But when it comes to like all of this, I don't think it's that old. Like something that we need to consider as well here is that Israel has a, what's the word for it? Like a scenario where it gains everything it wants. Like Israel is not out of the picture here because Israel has consistently said that Venezuela and Iran are friends. They talk to each other, they trade with each other, and that's what they want to stop because they are against Iran primarily. No, older than that. She said that before Peace Prize was, yeah, in October or before. And she has been saying it. Like earliest I could find was like 2022. That was like the earliest I could find. Like, and I'm not the best finder of news. That's why I have to depend on all of you on Discord. Like in that scenario, join Discord if you're new here. It would be very helpful, and I would be very thankful to you, because a lot of all of this is possible because of people supporting us on Discord. The entire thing is their creation as well. It is not just me, it is like a bunch of other people. Anyway, the point of it is like Israel has a connect into this as well, because Israel wants to go against Iran. It wants to take over Iranian territory. It wants to take over Iraqi territory and all of these. And Iran and Venezuela are friends. Like they trade with each other. So in within the idea of isolation of Iran, the Israel was supporting the takeover of Venezuela. That is the point I'm trying to make. And like seriously, one of like if you want to take control like America, like you should be nice with Israel anyway. Like that's what India did, right? So if people do not remember, India has like America was never okay with India. Yeah, Machado has been gaslighting people for years, and that is true. Like she has been gaslighting people so fucking much, and she won a Nobel Peace Prize over gaslighting people at this point. Irrespective of that, what is happening right now is that if you want to get to America, you have to go through Israel. That is a law at this point, especially within international politics. Like India did the same thing years ago. So after the whole Indira Gandhi thing happened, where Indira Gandhi went up to Nixon and like just basically said "fuck off," like very diplomatically say "fuck off," and that's what she should like. At that point, she should have done that anyway. With like US on our border, we had a realization with Morari that like, oh, we need to get touchy-feely with the US, especially after the fall of USSR. So they went to Israel. They started chumming up to Israel. That's why the Indian management of Kashmir and our trade of weapons with Israel is so strong. And like management of Kashmir is already taken from Israel, and how they treat Palestinians, we treat Kashmiris. That is beyond the point at this point. The point is like you have to always go through Israel if you want to reach America at this point. No matter like even within the Ukraine war, Russia and Ukraine shit. And I know Bliss is gonna disagree with me on this. One of the reasons why Zelensky had to suck up to Israel, like saying like, "Oh, Israel is fighting a just war just as much," is because even though Ukraine is a direct proxy of the US, it is not valued as much as Israel. So if you want to still be a proxy, if you still want the weapons, if you still want to basically defend yourself after all of the bullshit America does with Russia and what Russia does with America and whatever, it still needed to suck up to Israel. It still needed to have like, oh, we are so friendly. That's why India is also sucking up to Israel at this point. Like it has this the amount of trade Israel does with India. The amount of trade Israel does with India is one of the direct reasons why India and US are still friendly, if not against each other, because India has been like two timing like Russia and US. So, whatever. That is beyond the point. We're talking about Venezuela today. Venezuela is a country in South America. It has the highest like reserves of oil. And like, have you heard like the meme? Like, if you have oil, the US is gonna attack. That is literally what has happened. Like, this has been construed as a war on terror, or like a war on terror and war on drugs, which is not fucking true. US has been slowly but steadily attacking Venezuelan fishermen ships. Fishermen ships. Like these are not combat boats. These are fishermen ships and calling it drug boats, which is just next level stupid at this point. Like if you are someone looking at that news and being like, hey, they were drug boats, you're stupid. They were double tapping fishermen vessels. Like there is a whole conversation to be had within the US, which is probably going to be had that Matt Gaetz is a war criminal. Am I getting the name right? Is Matt Gaetz the pedophile, or who other one is there? I think Matt Gaetz. Yeah, he's incompetent and whatever. So whatever. The point is, let's get into this. So we are going to first start. Hexet. Sorry, Hexet is a war criminal. Pete Hexet. Yeah. Sorry, my recall of certain names is never very nice. Pete Hexet. Oh, so hold on. Who's Matt Gaetz? He was also a dickhead, right? Yeah, he is the current position. He's say like Florida. Shit. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. He is the fake lawyer, and Pete Hegseth is the fake chief. Yeah. Anyway, talking about this. So we are going to start with what happened. Like Venezuelan steamer. This is the exact moment when the U.S. bombs hit. They literally invaded another sovereign country. Like, think about it. Like, America just decided that they're going to invade, and they invaded. There's no two ways. Like, there's no commentary to be about it. They literally invaded. There is never a good reason to do this.
Y después van hacia arriba, ¿sí? Si es por parte de su madre o parte... boludo, se cortó la luz.
This is literally like any war movie where like any war movie ever starts like this, where the bad guy attacks. This is what US is doing right now. There is no, like, again, there's no two ways about this. There's literally nothing about this. This is how the US is it is justifying killing people because it wants to take over oil in Venezuela. This is like, tell me, like, does this look like a drugs? Like, where drugs attack the public? Like, you can talk with Venezuelan authorities. You can, coordinate with them taking like drugs or whatever. If you have locations, you can get locations one or the other way. You don't have to attack an entire city. Come on. And again, you don't also have to pound Venezuelan military complexes. Like, why? Why is this an invasion? Why? Like, people have to ask, why is this an invasion? Why invade Venezuela, which is literally your fucking backyard? I mean, they did the same thing with Iraq. Remember, they did the same thing with Iraq. There are reasons why, and the story starts quite a while ago. So we are not going to go that back. We have to understand there are a few people involved. The first one is Machado. Maria Corina Machado. Maria Corina Machado is the opposition leader of Venezuela, currently in hiding. I think she's out of hiding now. She was in opposition with the president, Nicolas Maduro. Recently, US wanted to take over Venezuela. And this has been happening. Like, understanding the relationship between US and Venezuela is important. Again, I should have prepared a little bit better, like string of information in my brain. But yeah, so Trump doesn't like Venezuela. He doesn't like dealing with Venezuela, especially Maduro. Trump wanted always to have a regime change, mostly because Israel wanted to have a regime change in Venezuela, because Venezuela deals with Iran and they don't like that. It also deals with China, and it also deals with Russia. It is one of the highest sources of oil within this country, in the world. It is currently at the highest point. Hold on, if I can find the graph. Yeah, where is this? Yeah. Look at how much oil reserves it has of crude oil. Billions of barrels, 3.3 billion barrels of crude oil just within Venezuela. This is going to backfire so badly for Machado and US. Machado only has 10% support, rest 90. Yes, exactly. So Machado does not have support whatsoever in this scenario. But Machado still came out as one of the few people saying like, oh, we need to change. Like, she's the leader of the opposition right now and being supported by the US for a regime change. And this is something that has happened before. Like, I'm not even going to joke. This is something happened before. But Trump never really liked Venezuela at all. He never really liked Maduro. The moment he came back into office in 2020, end of 2024 and starting of 2025, he stopped talking to Maduro whatsoever. Maduro literally offered him everything. Literally everything. There is an old clip of Trump saying that, hey, Maduro offered everything. We are still denying it. They have stopped Trump had stopped talking to Maduro whatsoever. Like whatsoever. No talking whatsoever. No back and forth. Yeah, Machado has promised Trump Jr. that all the oil will go to Trump, and I said that is true. And within the last year, or even a little bit before that, the issue that happened, especially with Venezuela, is that they said they are going to nationalize the oil fields. Now, nationalize the oil fields is something that the US has opposed because they want their companies, this capitalistic regime that it is, they want their oil fields to be open to doing business with the US. And to be open to doing with this with the US means like letting US basically exploit you, not paying your dues. Like US companies don't pay money to get this oil. They don't give back money whatsoever. They get it cheap on the dollar and then pay back money to, I think, America. And whoever the current ruler is, it never trickles down. Trickle-down economics never really works, but whatever. So this exactly happened with Iraq as well, that they wanted to nationalize their oil fields, and that's why the US invaded them as well. No, next is not takeover of Taiwan. We'll get to it. So what happened now is that they wanted to nationalize their oil fields. Again, Maduro has started becoming a lot more socialist. He wanted to give like healthcare and housing, and like China does. But then again, US is like, no, like anything of socialism or communism working is not good for the American capitalism. So we need to attack. So they attacked. So again, there is a warning here because we are going to talk about a lot of violence as well. We saw this video of them attacking the military complexes. This did not start before this, but this is more or less a start within recent memory. So we're going to cover it. This came into the picture that America might attack Venezuela after the opposition leader from Venezuela, Maria Corina Machado, won the Nobel Peace Prize. The Nobel Peace Prize Trump wanted. She won that. And if you know anything about Nobel Peace Prizes, they are only given to people affectionate with the US.
The Nobel Peace Prize for 2025 goes to a brave and committed champion of peace, Maria Corina Machado.
Maria Corina Machado has said that she wants an invasion in Venezuela before. So calling her like a bastion of peace is fucking stupid.
Maria Machado, the hugely popular opposition leader in Venezuela.
She has 10% support between Venezuela. Let's me be clear. Hugely popular is relative. She's more popular than, I don't know, Trump right now in America.
Venezuela, who for years has been fighting for greater freedom in that country, taking on the government of President Nicolas Maduro, who has long forcefully cracked down on dissent and his opponents.
Which is true. Like Maduro's regime has been marked with a lot of authoritarian policies. But again, that is no reason to invade by America, get invaded by America. Because if you wanted to talk about invasion of Venezuela as like legitimate, you can also say that Modi is doing the same thing. So why shouldn't India be invaded if that's the scenario?
In a phone call just before the official announcement, Machado was given the heads up she'd won.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, I have no words. Thank you so much.
In hiding somewhere in Venezuela, Machado said the prize is recognition of the broader push for democracy in that country.
This is an achievement of a whole society.
She doesn't want democracy herself. She wants to give away the oil and get power. There's nothing more to it. Literally, she has asked for companies to come in and just basically take every single ounce of oil, that she will not nationalize the oil reserves. She will not let government run the oil. It will be given away to the companies, especially US companies.
But though the spotlight is now on Machado, so too is attention on someone who did not win the prize, U.S. President Donald Trump.
And I called him and I said, let's end the war.
Who in recent weeks and months had publicly, strongly hinted he certainly thinks he deserves it.
I stopped wars from happening. If it were somebody else, they would have gotten 5 Nobel Prizes. I never even got a mention.
And in now officially not winning the prize, it's clear that some in the White House are not exactly thrilled at that. In a post on X today, White House Communications Director Stephen Chung wrote, "The Nobel Committee proved they place politics over peace." Worth noting, Trump himself is a supporter of Machado and her efforts to unseat Maduro. On that, Machado gave Trump a direct shout-out, posting, "I dedicate this prize to the suffering people of Venezuela and to President Trump for his decisive support of our cause."
Machado added she's counting on Trump in her push for Venezuelan democracy, the suggestion being they need help from the guy who didn't win. Paul Hunter, CBC News, London.
Not just this, she gave away the Nobel Prize to, at least dedicated the Nobel Prize. To be fair, this isn't first disgraceful Nobel win. I mean, EU got Nobel when Syria refugees were dying on EU beaches, of course. Oh, Obama got that is not the worst. Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize. Let me be clear, after bombing the shit out of Iraq. Yeah, I mean, Kissinger got one after killing millions. Yeah, I mean, Kissinger got one, Obama got one. This is just me trying to tell a story here. So, and even after this, she has been wanting a regime change from the start. So this is Trump Jr. This is what she had to say about the oil fields of her own country.
Arabia. Forget about the Saudis. I mean, we have more oil. I mean, infinite potential. And we're going to open markets. We're going to kick off the government from the oil sector. We are going to privatize all our industry. Venezuela has huge
Yes, she's a goblin face.
resources, oil, gas, minerals, land, technology. And as you said before, we have a strategic location, hours from the United States. So we're going to do this right. We know what we have to do. And American companies are in, super strategic position to invest. This country, Venezuela, is going to be the brightest opportunity for investment of American companies, of good people that are going to make a lot of money. Forget about Saudi.
See, that's the point. That goblin really wants just to make money at this point. There's nothing more. She doesn't care about the people of Venezuela. If she did, she wouldn't have been saying this. Does she realize that the fact that she allowed and asked the US to invade Venezuela is going to be good for the Venezuelan people? Does anyone even think that this is a valid course of action? She has then asked Israel, the first thing she's going to do is build Israeli embassies within Venezuela. And the first thing that they want to do is when she takes over, Israel is going to build. There's a reason for it. There's Israel wants to counter Iran, and Iran trades Venezuela. So they're rather than making a deal with Venezuela, we can just do a regime change. And the real reason why Venezuela matters. This is not a point of drug trading, just to be clear.
Smuggling of illegal drugs out of Venezuela. But what if it's not just that? Maybe there's something else going on. What if it's partly about oil?
It is about oil.
On the surface, you might be thinking, why does America even need Venezuelan oil? And I can kind of understand your point, because if you look...
Are all Latin countries cowards or really selfish, corrupt? None of those things. You can say the same thing about Asian countries. People are idiotic. The governing idiots are capitalists. These governing people are selfish, greedy, and whatnots. The crowds are not really anything. The crowds are mostly suppressed and propagandized. That is what I would say. Latin America is a good place to be if you want. But again, see, it's extremely complicated because the white population, yes, it is selfish. These are colonizers. The black and brown population has been there. They were brought in either as slaves or were natives. They don't want any of this. Latin America, even America for that matter, Mexico and whatnots, fall under very specific scenario where the battle keeps going on between like the colonizing factions and the colonized factions, which again, we can argue all the time, like, oh, these are not colonized anymore, but there is always like levels to it. Like
Okay,
South Africa wasn't colonized even during apartheid. Apartheid had to end eventually. They get invaded and take over by US whenever they want. Like how, I mean, have you seen the US army? Like, have you, like, India cannot fight the US army. If US wanted, it could attack India tomorrow and take over. US hegemony is extremely huge and no other country would even bother to help. It's not just Latin America, it's everyone. The only reason why the US does not attack, like, say, India or North Korea is because nukes. Because they know if they invade, they are going to nuke the shit out of America. That is the only reason. So if you are a country in like the 21st century without nukes, you are at the mercy of the US. Literally, mercy of the US.
Total oil production. Look, this is up until 2005. The US was there, Venezuela was there, Saudi Arabia was there. But as you probably know, since then, everything has changed. Look, American output has gone through the roof, way above Saudi Arabia, way above Saudi Arabia. And Venezuela has gone basically to the floor. And that's kind of post-Chavez, Maduro. They're one of the minnows now, I think 21st biggest producer in the world. So again, that question, why should America care? Well, in the US, that big rise is largely down to this. It's down to the shale revolution. So you've got fracking all around the US producing extraordinary amounts of crude oil. And here's where we get to the interesting bit. Because when you're thinking about crude oil, maybe you're just thinking about, well, look, barrels of oil. It's all the same, isn't it? Well, actually, no. So if you kind of look at crude oil, there are various different types of crude in different parts of the world. There's actually kind of various different ways you can categorize it. But one way you can look at it is look at the kind of density. So you're basically looking at how thick that crude is. And when I say thick, I mean literally how thick. This is showing you global production broken down by the density of that oil. And so you've got the kind of medium stuff. And this is probably, if you've got kind of image in your mind of what crude oil looks like, it's a bit like this, it's kind of black, but it's not too viscous, it flows around. But there's other stuff as well. So this is light crude. And it kind of almost looks like a smoothie, doesn't it? And that's the same stuff. This is still crude oil, but down to the kind of geological and the biological conditions in the ground when it was being formed, hundreds of millions of years ago, it comes out looking a bit different. And so that's light. You've also got heavy stuff. And it's kind of relatively small in global production. But this is gloopy, super viscous stuff. Heavy oil. So heavy, medium, light. Remember that. And remember also, the key thing here is, you get it out of the ground, it may look like that, but ultimately, you still need it to go into, someone's car, or indeed, be turned into chemicals. Basically, you need to process it, and that processing, that happens in places like this, in refineries, and there are refineries all over the world, of course. There are refineries all over the US as well. There's kind of more than 100 of them. And if we kind of look at where those refineries are, well, so there's some in California. So the history in America, actually, historically, a lot of the early Californian oil, that was the heavy, gloopy stuff. And if you look at kind of some of the refineries in America, so here are some of the refineries. There's one in LA there. These are the 10 biggest. You've got some up here around kind of towards Canada. We'll kind of come to that in a second. But a lot of them are down there, kind of Texas, Louisiana, on the coast. And here's the critical thing. These refineries are primarily set up for heavy oil, for taking that gloopy stuff and turning it into gasoline and all of the other different products. But here's where things get interesting. And remember that chart I showed you a moment ago, the one which showed kind of shale oil and how it kind of went through the roof? The oil that's generally produced with shale oil, the fracking oil, that comes out of the ground mostly in the light form. So it's the smoothie. It's sometimes actually even clear. It comes out of the ground clear rather than black. And that's the majority of American production right now. Shale oil tends to be light stuff. And actually that's kind of going back 10 years. Look at where we are now. Look at those bars. In the last few years, the amount of light oil being produced in the US has gone up and up and up, and the amount of kind of heavy stuff has gone down. But back to those refineries. They need to be fed.
Random news on world stage. China is like our country's liberal, only performative opposition to West, toothless and real. China trade maxes. China doesn't care. China cares about its citizens. Like, there is literally no reason for China to do anything here. Like, it's pointless. Like, I would argue that China is just setting this out because like it sees literally no profit from like being involved in this. Like, we'll get to China, like this, like I'll get to China, don't worry about it. Like, we have a thing, what happened with China. There is something that came out like literally 35 minutes ago.
America's going to have gasoline. It needs to feed those refineries with heavy oil. So if you look at the kind of imports coming into America, in recent years, even though America is producing so much oil, more oil than it ever produced before, it still needs to suck in loads of oil from overseas. And the type of oil we're talking about, it used to be, it's mostly heavy crude. It used to be only 12%. So only 12% of imports were heavy, gloopy crude. Now, it's about 70%. So 70% of the oil coming into America, which it needs to basically keep its economy going, is heavy crude. And where does heavy crude come from? Well, here are some of the big countries where you find most of it. It's Canada and Venezuela. There's one other I'll come to in a second, which we'll come back to. But it's Canada and it's Venezuela where you get most of this heavy crude oil, which is why, about to think about where those refineries are, they're mostly set up, kind of, you've got some in the north there to get the heavy oil coming out of Canada, and you've got some around the kind of Louisiana and elsewhere and Texas to get that heavy oil that comes in from Venezuela. That was kind of the way they were set up. And it's really expensive to rebuild these things. You can't just chuck out a refinery very easily overnight. Some came from Mexico and the Gulf of Mexico as well, and that was pretty heavy too. So that's the picture in America. And the upshot is, even though America is producing more and more oil, the imports, this is showing you imports of oil into America, are still really high. And if you break down those imports by the country that stuff is coming from, well, there's Venezuela. And it used to be a decent slug, actually more coming from Venezuela just about than from Canada, just at the turn of the millennium. But now look at what's happened since. Right now, Canada has gone from 15% of all of the US imports of oil to 61%. 61%. And Venezuela is basically next to nothing. But here's what's tantalizing, and here's the reason I think that a lot of people are looking towards Venezuela and thinking, well, there's more to this than just drugs. Look at total oil reserves around the world. The higher these bars are, the more oil there is in the ground, so that hasn't yet been taken out of the ground. So there you've got Saudi, Iran, Iraq, all of the usual suspects. But the biggest of all, and this is according to various different sources, the biggest of all is Venezuela. And what's that oil? It's the heavy, tarry stuff that you might well want to put into those American refineries. And there is really only one other place in the world that has a kind of serious amount of heavy oil other than Canada and Venezuela. And lo and behold, guess where that is?
And China.
It's Russia. All of which
he's not mentioning, like, the refineries are in China. Anyway, so this was about oil. This was not about the drugs, but it was shown off as drugs. So White House released a video from October 17th. As we were saying before, Maduro had offered everything to the United States and Trump, but Trump does not like Maduro at all.
He has offered everything. He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Maduro offered everything in his country.
And yet, they were invaded. Like, this is about oil, because they literally offered everything. Like, hey, you want to fight terrorists? Fight terrorists. You want to fight like the drug cartels? Fight the drug cartels. Forget it. We don't care. Do it. Because Maduro did not care about any of that. But this was entirely on the focus of, like, we want their oil, because Maduro wanted to, I'll say this again, nationalize the oil fields. Where is the video? Seriously, like, I fucking swear, like, I need to get better with the assigning videos. Like, yeah, there you go.
Hoy hablé con el secretario general de
This is in Spanish, by the way. Spanish, yes.
Naciones Unidas. Hablamos un rato largo y les puse plenamente lo que ha sido la escalada de agresiones y de amenazas. Y lo que ha sucedido el día de ayer y hoy, cuando el gobierno de los Estados Unidos dice que le pertenecen a ellos y que los venezolanos le robamos el petróleo. O sea, que el petróleo venezolano le pertenece a ellos.
This is after US kept saying that they stole oil from us. How are you going to steal oil from us if it's underneath the Venezuelan land? How is that stealing oil from US America?
Que los minerales venezolanos, el oro y todos los minerales le pertenecen a ellos. Y lo que nunca habíamos escuchado, que las tierras de Venezuela le pertenecen a ellos y se lo tienen.
That's what they're saying. Like, hey, Venezuelan territory is American, apparently. Yeah. So Bliss on Twitch is saying that oil was promised to them 3,000 years ago. Yeah, it is. It is literally like, this is colonial. Like, America thinks it owns every oil field around the world. And unless you have nukes, unless you have a deterrent, they are going to invade and take it from you. Biden tried it peacefully. Trump is just doing it offensively.
Tenemos que devolver de manera inmediata. Sencillamente, es una pretensión guerrerista y colonialista. Y lo hemos dicho bastante y ya todo el mundo ve la verdad. La verdad ha sido develada. Se pretende en Venezuela un cambio de régimen para imponer un gobierno títere que no duraría ni 47 horas, que llegue a entregarle la Constitución, la soberanía y todas las riquezas y convierta a Venezuela en una colonia. Sencillamente eso no va a pasar.
Yeah, they want to turn Venezuela into a US colony and a proxy. That is the end goal here. That's what they did with every other country around Latin America. What happened with Cuba? What happened with Guatemala? They are proxies. Puerto Rico is literally the 51st state. Again, and people don't know this or even remember this, Hawaii is also a US colony. It is a US colony. It is not a state. They call it a state for whatever reason, but it is a colony. US literally invaded Hawaii as well and took over the land.
Nunca, jamás, never in the life, Venezuela será colonia de nada.
It has become a colony now, especially if Venezuelan people don't do anything and Machado is allowed to come in power. Let's talk about what exactly happened. Trump literally came up with like Truth Social. He sent a truth, like has successfully carried out strikes in Venezuela. And the current president of Nicolas Maduro and his wife have been captured. They have been kidnapped by US and they are currently facing charges for drug trafficking in America. Like, these are not real charges. These are definitely not real charges whatsoever. But they are facing those charges and they are headed to south. Hold on, where is this? What was this? South of what? South of New York, southern state of New York or something. They are facing the charges over there. So they are getting extradited to that country. And this is like the president was kidnapped directly by America. This was this is what Trump recently said.
Just like,
don't expect this to be anything like profound.
Nobody's ever seen. And I was told by real military people that there's no other country on earth that could do such a maneuver. If you would have seen what happened, I mean, I watched it literally like I was watching a television show. And if you would have seen
this happens in like Tom
violence,
Clancy or something.
They say that, the speed, the violence, they use that term. It's it was an amazing thing, an amazing job that these people did. There's nobody else could have done anything like it. The team did an incredible job. They rehearsed and practiced like nobody's ever seen. And I was told by real military people that there's no other country on earth that could do such a maneuver. If you would have seen what happened, I mean, I watched it literally like I was watching a television show. And if you would have seen
like Trump is such a big fucker. Like, he has no idea how to talk. He has absolutely no idea how to talk. He's the fucking president of America. like most powerful man in the world, as they say. And this started off with like him attacking ships and
has
boats.
struck another alleged drug boat in
This
the Pacific,
happened,
killing
like,
2
few
people.
months ago.
U.S. Southern
No, I mean,
Command
this
posted
happened
this
3 days
video
ago,
of the
but
attack on
this has been
social
going on
media.
for a
It
few
marks
months.
the 30th strike on suspected drug vessels in the region since September, killing at least 107 people. Before a meeting with Israeli...
Again, this itself was illegal for them to do. This has been discussed back and forth. Their double taps. Hexet has been called like a war criminal in every single rung of U.S. Congress.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday, President Trump confirmed the first known U.S. land strike inside Venezuela.
There was a major explosion in the dock area where they load the boats up with drugs.
Which
They
is
load
not
the
true.
boats up with drugs. So we hit all the boats, and now we hit the area.
This is like a child talking about like, oh, what did you do in... So you ask the child like, hi, what did you do in school? Yeah, we were like coloring and then we got like the colors out and then we colored a nice picture. That's basically
CBS
Trump.
News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe joins us now from West Palm Beach, Florida. Ed, what do we know about the strike?
Not much, Lindsay. The president saying that this happened, and he had actually first said this in a radio interview that aired Friday, but reiterated on Monday that it has happened. It was this apparent spot where drug boats are allegedly loaded up with drugs. Wouldn't specify where it was, when this attack happened, and when asked specifically about the CIA and whether they were the ones conducting the operation, he said, I know who did it, but he wouldn't confirm whether it was the military, the CIA, or some other entity. Of course, this strike comes amid the ongoing strikes on alleged drug boats in the Eastern Pacific and the Caribbean Sea. There was another Monday. And, of course, as the U.S. has tried to stop several oil tankers coming and going from Venezuela.
After President Trump's meeting with Netanyahu, he issued warnings to both Hamas and Iran. We talked about it after the fact, but what can you tell us about what he said and what news was made?
Yeah, and this is driven by Israel's concern that, in their view, that Iran is beginning to restock its ballistic missile supply, telling that the president, when asked about it, said, well, if that's confirmed, it's a serious situation, but didn't seem to agree necessarily.
For some reason, like Israel is always involved whenever America does something. It is like their guiding child or something.
That is indeed happening.
Like,
take a listen
Israel
to some
is
of what
like
he had
the
to say
child
in
of
response.
America, but it leads
Iran
America in
may
every
be
decision.
behaving badly. It hasn't been confirmed, but if it's confirmed, look, they know the consequences. You know, consequences will be very powerful, maybe more powerful than the last time.
Of course, there were strikes over the summer conducted by the United States and Israel that are believed to have at least severely damaged 3 different sites that housed elements of Iran's nuclear weapons development program. In this case, it's ballistic missiles that Israel alleges they're restocking. And in essence, part of this trip was designed for Netanyahu to come here and essentially get permission from the president to strike if they feel the need. But you saw...
So right after this happened, Israel has said it's going to restart striking Iran again. So like, we are taking over Venezuela, which has been your partner, and now we are going to strike you. That is what is happening here. Then we have, again, news from Al Jazeera. It was released an hour ago.
Cici, thank you. Now, I want to bring in just a bit of background to what led up to the events that we are seeing unfolding right now in Venezuela. The US strikes come despite Caracas signaling its willingness to talks. On Friday, President Nicolas Maduro said Venezuela was willing to negotiate a deal with the United States to combat drug trafficking. In the last few months, the US has attacked at least 35 boats.
See, again, as we said before, this is not about drug trafficking. Like, America wants to make it like this about drug trafficking. It is not. Like, that war on drugs, this is kind of fake. The highest supporter of drugs within this world is America and the CIA. That's how they destabilize a country. It's one of their ways to do it. This was never about drugs. It was about oil.
They accused of transporting drugs in the Caribbean and the Eastern Pacific since early September. And at least 115 people have been killed in those strikes. And
115 people were not drug traffickers. They were fishermen because they were attacking fishing boats.
Since August, the US has significantly increased its military presence near Venezuela, deploying more than 15,000 soldiers to the region. So let's bring in Shihab Ratansi here. He's in Washington for us. Shihab, this attack in many ways was telegraphed long before it actually happened. We've just run through the recent background there. But no one thought that this was going to happen, that the US was going to capture Maduro. But the question I want to ask you is, there are still splits within the Trump administration. There are MAGA, who doesn't want foreign interventions, doesn't want foreign wars, but there are those people who want regime change. How do you think Trump has managed all of that to get to this quite unprecedented place we're in right now?
I think what's going to be key then is what rationale he gives at the press conference at Mar-a-Lago at 11 a.m. local, because it is clear that there's this has the potential of splitting up the MAGA coalition. The whole point was no more endless wars, no more regime change wars like Iraq, for example. However, there is always the possibility that they will present this as a law enforcement
MAGA is not going to care.
Operation.
People overestimate.
And by all accounts, the vice president is still, is in charge.
People overestimate how much MAGA has a voice within all of this. They are not going to care as long as Venezuelans are killed. They are not. Americans in general do believe that, they're going to lose support just because there's another war. MAGA does not care about these wars. As long as Trump can keep them away from the Epstein files, Trump can keep them away from talking about Epstein, Israel, whatever, MAGA is not going to care. As long as all of their, tweets or whatever are not gone, as long as they are not gone, MAGA is not going to care. They're still not going to care. They support a pedophile. They have started a campaign saying, so what? He was friends with Epstein. We need to redefine pedophilia and whatever. The whole shit you can see on the line.
She gave this audio address on VTV, on state TV. She requested proof of life of Nicolas Maduro and his wife. And she says the situation is calm right now, but multiple military personnel have been killed. We heard from the defense minister vowing a struggle, but there is always the possibility that this is going to be presented simply as a law enforcement operation, and the regime and one of the Venezuelan government remains largely intact. And
they quite literally kidnapped the president of Venezuela,
and the vice president now takes over. It's interesting, though, that Donald Trump has given a phone interview with the New York Times now, very brief. He celebrated the success of the mission capture. He said a lot of good planning and a lot of great troops and great people, he said, were involved. It was a brilliant operation, actually. And when asked if he had sought congressional authority for the operation or what is next for Venezuela, Mr. Trump said he would address these matters during that news conference at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago at his private club in residence in Palm Beach, Florida. 11 a.m., 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1600 GMT, Imran, you probably know that better than me, but just in a few hours' time.
So Trump said this. The actual thing is going to be a bit this seriously, this is just us. Lol. Sorry, class report here.
What do you think is next for the Venezuelan people now that you have removed Maduro so that he can face American justice?
Well, we're making that decision now. We can't take a chance on letting somebody else run and just take over where he left or left off. So we're making that decision now. We'll be involved in it very much. And we want to do liberty for the people. We want to, have a great relationship. I think the people of Venezuela are very, very happy because they love the United States. They were
very
run
happy
by
that the president
a
was
dictatorship or
kidnapped.
worse. It couldn't have been worse. It was a terrible thing that was taking place in Venezuela. But look, tremendous numbers of people were being killed through drugs, and what they did to our country in sending prisoners,
literally nothing. Let me just be clear.
people
Literally
from
nothing.
mental institutions and drug lords and everything. They sent them by the hundreds of thousands of people into our country, and that is just unforgivable.
Venezuela has done literally nothing. Like, even the drug thing is false. Like, Maduro, as we've seen before, has asked and pleaded Trump, like, hey, you want to discuss drugs? Let's discuss drugs. You have free reign. But no, that was not the point of this. The point of this was regime change. So Machado can come in. That was the whole point. Like, even if you look at, like, oh, how Nicolas Maduro fell, like all of these videos that they do to gain
This was
acceptance.
Nicolas Maduro and his wife just a few days ago, looking relaxed and smiling.
Un acuerdo de combate contra el narcotráfico, estamos listos.
He tells his interviewer he's open to closer cooperation with Donald Trump. He has now, it seems, been deposed and is on his way to an uncertain fate.
Not war, just peace, forever, forever, forever.
Whatever the future brings, Nicolas Maduro may be remembered most for pictures like these. A leader who danced as Venezuela's economy sank deeper and American warships advanced on his country.
Not war, not war, not war. Just peace, just peace, just peace, forever, forever, forever. Peace forever.
His brazen swagger was with him till the end, here a few months ago claiming he was bigger than Taylor Swift.
Soy más famoso que Taylor Swift en
To be
Estados
honest, that
Unidos
was
ahorita.
legitimately funny.
But Nicolas Maduro will go down in history as the man who took a nation with enormous oil wealth and potential and left it ruined. For much of his life, though, he was in the shadow of this man, revolutionary socialist firebrand Hugo Chavez, who upturned Venezuela with radical changes in the early 2000s, nationalizing its oil industry and reducing poverty. Before Chavez
That is something
died,
that
he made
America
Maduro
doesn't want.
his successor.
Nationalizing oil
But
is
Nicolas
what
Maduro
is
had
an
none of
issue
his
for
mentor's
America.
charisma or
So,
popular-
like, companies like Shell and like British Petroleum can't come in and just take over. This is exactly what happened with Iraq. Let me remind you.
He was despised by many in Venezuela's elites as a poor substitute. To maintain power, he would rely more and more not on competence, but
Which is true.
repression. And his policies were disastrous for the economy. In elections
Disasters
in
for the economy,
2015,
no.
Maduro
America
lost his
has been
majority in
intervening within
parliament,
the economy
but he
as well
refused
for a
to
while.
stand down. In 2016, Maduro's fortunes took a turn for the worse, when a man who had been
Would so-called democratically elected dare to go in a... I mean... Yeah, true.
become his
Literally, like
nemesis.
Trump never does. Modi never does. Modi even like keeps children away, like with like metal, like what was it? Like has like metal spiked like rope between him and the children.
Was elected US president. Donald Trump imposed swinging sanctions. The Venezuelan economy went from bad to catastrophic. 7 million people would flee its collapse. In widespread protests in 2017, more than 100 people died. Opposition groups claim thousands were also killed by the secret police and in jails. But Nicolas Maduro appeared unmoved. Even after this, an attempt on his life with exploding drones in 2018 blamed on rogue elements inside the country. Behind the scenes, opponents were plotting, hoping for his downfall, led by this man, Juan Guaido, who declared Maduro illegitimate and himself acting president instead. He was recognized by the US and others around the world. The Maduro regime reacted furiously, running down protesters and shooting at them in the streets. Guaido believed mistakenly he had enough support to remove Maduro from power. But a coup attempt that looked close to toppling Maduro ended in failure. The unpopular dictator clung on. His fortunes turned again, thanks to events
So Maduro is not unpopular, let me just be clear. He's very popular.
halfway around the world, Russia's invasion of Ukraine. When the West stopped buying Russian oil, it turned to Venezuela and its vast reserves instead. Maduro was allowed back in out of the cold. That may have emboldened him to pull off one of the biggest election frauds in Latin American history. In elections in 2024, the opposition is thought by most observers to have won a landslide, but Maduro again refused to give up power, declaring victory unconvincingly. Then in America, Donald Trump was re-elected. He branded Maduro a narco-terrorist and sent a seventh of America's Navy to threaten him, the latest of America's neighbors to face the belligerence of Donald Trump.
It's just Venezuela. It has started with Panama, then with Canada, then with Greenland. It seems that President Trump, although he appears to be a pacifist, at least at the Western Hemisphere, he has a very, let's say, peculiar understanding of the role of the United States as a kind of overlord of the area.
Trump's campaign against Maduro has been unrelenting. A massive naval build-up aimed at first at Venezuela's narco-trafficking operations. At least 30 small boats destroyed, allegedly for drug running, but with little evidence to prove the claims. Then oil tankers were seized, accused of breaking international sanctions.
That's why Hexet is under consideration for war crimes
regime
right now.
change. Donald Trump's rhetoric against the Maduro government showed no let-up.
We consider Venezuela to be not a very friendly country. They sent millions of people, really, and probably a number in excess of that. And a lot of those people shouldn't be in our country, from jails, from gangs, from drug dealers, from all of the people that came into our country shouldn't have been in our country, causing a lot of problems. And drugs.
The coming hours and days will be crucial for Venezuela wherever they lead. Maduro's years of rampant kleptocracy leave the country racked with massive economic inequality. Its resources robbed, its institutions dismantled. Whoever takes his place faces an enormous challenge, putting Venezuela back on the road to recovery. Dominic Waghorn, Sky News.
Benjamin Netanyahu.
We have something as well, just talking about, again, Machado's involvement with Israel as well. Again, I don't need to say this like a billion more times, but like this is quite literally planned by Israel, America, and Machado here.
Minister of the State of Israel.
I promise we one day will have a close relationship between Venezuela and Israel.
I myself look forward to visit the state
I'll
of
say
Israel
this again. Venezuela was a supporter of Iran.
We will prevail.
And I can announce it.
Iran is against Israel, and that's why this toppling was planned. That is what I believe, at least. There is no reason why this should have happened right now, when every single person was covering. Like, Maduro was working with Trump. Like, let's not get this wrong. Maduro was wanting to work with Trump. Trump was the one who iced him out the entire time. We know this, and Trump said it himself. Like, we covered this like 5 minutes ago. Trump said it himself. Maduro quite literally was trying to work with. This is international US policy as it is. This has been the case with even Iraq. For example, there was a what's this? So even the Daily Show, they did a comparison between like the shit that was talking about by Iraq and whatever, Iraq and Venezuela.
How eerie is the Iraq parallel? Well, we got one guy making the same case for both wars. And yes, it's who you think.
Saddam Hussein's a threat to my country. He's a threat to our way of life. He needs to go.
Maduro is an existential threat to the people of the United States.
It is time for Maduro to go.
Now, to be fair, some things have changed over the last 20 years. You know, back in the Iraq War, we used to play clips of Lindsey Graham and make jokes suggesting that he's secretly gay. But now, we know that that was inappropriate. But you know what? You know what? I'm not even going to play around anymore. It. Hit me with the works. Iraq, Venezuela, go!
We're giving them full opportunity to do it the easy way. And when it doesn't work, we'll do it the hard way.
If we could do things the easy way, that's fine. And if we have to do it the hard way, that's fine too.
Chemical weapons is a threat to the United States.
Fentanyl poses a chemical weapons threat to the United States.
Al-Qaeda terrorists inside Iraq.
Al-Qaeda of our hemisphere.
If we can get rid of Saddam, it could really begin to transform the region.
There's an opportunity to transform the entire region.
Bringing
freedom and democracy.
Democracy and freedom can serve as a beacon of hope.
Shock and awe. Shock and awe, indeed. How eerie is the Iraq parallel? Well, we got one guy making the same case for both wars. And yes, it's who you think.
Saddam Hussein's a threat to my country. He's a threat to our way of life. He needs to go.
Maduro is an existential threat to the people of the United States.
It is time for Maduro to go.
Now, to be fair, some things have changed over the last 20 years. You know, back in the Iraq War, we used to play clips of Lindsey Graham and make jokes suggesting that he's secretly gay. But now, we know that that was inappropriate. But you know what? You know what? I'm not even going to play it around anymore. F it. Hit me with the works. Iraq, Venezuela.
Wait, hold on. Did it restart?
Indeed.
Quite literally, like, Jesus. The parallels are so huge. And, like, this is literally something that was orchestrated. I recently saw, so, again, I don't know if pamphlets can be trusted at this point. Let's check anyway. Because Bliss posted this earlier and she deleted it as right after. So I don't know, but I was going to show this anyway. Is this from Venezuela or no? Okay, this is not. This is cross-checked. Okay. So this is Mexico, right? As far as I understand. Either way. There's also news that the Chinese envoy was with Venezuelan President Maduro, right? Quite literally like a few moments ago, like an hour or two ago. So they were literally in the middle of cross, within range of being attacked. But let's be clear on this, and coming back to what Aman had to say, China is not going to do anything. There's a reason why, because China gets everything out of this. America has made sure that China gets everything out of this. I'll show you why quickly. So many fucking links. President Trump says China will get Venezuelan oil due to his good relationships with President Xi. At the end of the day, China just wants to trade max. It is not going to oppose the Venezuelan takeover as long as it's what's the word? It's outwardly goals are met. It's not an issue for it. It will trade with anyone who's wanting. It will trade with literally anyone. It needs oil itself. That's why it's not going to do anything. So expecting China to work is not a very good idea. China is not a good person in any of these scenarios as well. Like China could have, like if it was a good person, it could have pressured Israel, but it still trades with Israel. It trades with everyone. It talks against Israel as well at the same time. It trades with Russia. It trades with EU. It trades with everyone. It wants to be perfectly neutral. That's why also why the Taiwanese takeover, as Roman said, is not going to happen. Because Taiwan, for good or bad, is controlled by America. China wants Taiwan, and again, internationally and by US, even by US standards and US everything, Taiwan is Chinese property. It is Chinese region. The issue with Taiwan right now for China is a lot of people do not want, Taiwanese people do not want to be part of China, which is why it needs to change its minds, not really attack it, because again, internationally, it is still considered Chinese territory. You can check, you can cross-check, you can do whatever you want.
Powers.
So this is again Trump talking.
Very vicious person.
Can you tell us where Maduro and his wife are right this second?
Well, they'll be heading to New York. You know, they were indicted in New York, and also.
So are they taken to a ship first, and then?
Yes, to Iwo Jima. They're on a ship.
Okay.
But they'll be heading into New York.
Trump just sounds like a child. He has a brain disease.
The helicopters took him out. And they went by helicopter in a nice flight. I'm sure they loved it. But they've killed a lot of people. Remember that they killed a lot of people, and
a lot of Americans.
even people in their own country. They killed a lot of people to maintain power. He's a very vicious person.
Can you tell us where Maduro and his wife are right this second?
Well, they'll be heading to New York. You know, they were indicted in New York, and also.
So were they taken to a ship first, and then?
Yes, to Iwo Jima.
So this is coming in. Venezuelan opposition leader Machado has said that she wants to take over Venezuela in the light of, hold on, this fucking New York Post. Just fucking hell. I fucking hate New York Post. It is the literal worst. Like, I am shit you not. Come on, load, mother. Venezuela opposition leader Machado said she and opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez are poised to lead the country after the capture of Maduro. She does not have the support of the people. She is doing it based on a military intervention. Hold on, Tyrell. This guy, hold on. Who is this? See, whoever you are, Venezuelan military is nothing as compared to American. So don't get me wrong. Like India couldn't do anything against it, and I know you are Indian. Like you can't do shit. In America can just come in India and kidnap Modi, and you wouldn't be able to do shit. So don't worry. Don't think of it like American. India will make. Oh please, dude, come on. Be serious. Be fucking serious. India will make America regret. How? Like, no. Nothing is happening. 50% tariffs. India can't do shit. Bangladesh, which again you guys hate, have barely 20. Not even 20. What are you talking about? The only reason America doesn't invade India right now is because of nukes. Lose a war, destroy. What? Okay. Let me be clear with you about this. Again, for people on YouTube, this is on Twitch. Let me be very clear about this. Lose a war but destroy America is not happening. India is nowhere. I'm sorry. Like, kya mazak bana rakhe ho? Like, be serious. Indian warheads are not reaching that far. India is in the hands of US in the first place. And it is trying to play a two-timing game even with Russia. Russia is not supporting if India goes against America right now. What are you crying about? Like, destroy America to kaisa karega mujhe bolna bhai? Like, this is like a joke at this point. Do you not understand the Indian military has no strength whatsoever outside its borders? It has no international hegemony or military hegemony like America. America has military bases all around the world. India can't have a military base in its own backyard. Are you joking? Like, are you serious? Like saying like, oh, the only reason is nukes. The only reason is nukes because they are not going to be able to be even released in that scenario. But the point is, you can't take over a country and then have it nuked as well. That is the reason why America doesn't do it. That is why the deterrent is there. Yeah, like you're so basically India is nowhere as compared. India can't do anything. That is the point. Indian military is not that good internationally. It is good for its borders. Do you see the Indian military operating in anywhere else other than India? Which is, I think, a good thing. But have you seen the American military? Have you seen their budget? God damn it. Like, seriously, I don't want America to invade India, but saying that India is going to stand, like, India couldn't stand a chance against Pakistan. Come on. Like, India literally couldn't stand a chance against Pakistan. In, like, OP Sindoor mein kya hua? Like, kiske muh pe anda gira? Was it Pakistan or was it India? Who has our international support right now? Is it Pakistan or is it India? Tell me, like, Dada, we have 3 wars. Okay, you fought 3 wars. Abhi ka situation bol dekho na. Why do you have to go back to 90s? This is 2026 now. Come to 2026. 6 months ago, OP Sindoor happened. Who won? Who won? Internationally, who's saying who won? Sirf India mein bolte India won. Everyone else saying that Trump won because he was the one who did the ceasefire. Did India do the ceasefire? No. Apparently not according to the world. Even China has come forward and said who is in opposition to America that India did not do the ceasefire. America did. Yeah, India literally got its ass handed to in OP Sindoor. Like they were spreading fake news like wildfire. India की इज्जत गई है. इज्जत पे आ गया उनका. And you are trying to tell me, India can win against America. Like, where do you get this weed, man? I don't understand. इतना डिल्यूलू कहाँ से आता है? Please. It's like next level डिल्यूलू, man. Anyway, Venezuela opposition leader, again, the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize winner, who was given the peace for something like this happens, has been poised to take place in place of Nicolas Maduro. Oh, that was not a war. That was okay, to take out terrorist hideouts. Okay. Official notice पे war लिखा है भाई. And India has been called a terrorist country, after which we basically attacked Pakistan without any proof. So India की इज्जत तभी भी गई है. तो उसको war के या फिर उसको terrorist hideout take out के. The real terrorist according to the world was India here because it attacked Pakistan without any proof. And India is not America. Internationally, abhi America invaded Venezuela, but internationally ये कहने वाले हैं कि what is US doing now, you hypocrite? That is the same point. US does not have proof for invading Venezuela. It is in the wrong, but it has the soft power and the push to say that they are in the right. That is the whole fucking point. फुकट में मेरे को हिपोक्रेट बोला जा रहा है. This point is consistent line thread overall. US doing right now is also not good. That is the whole point. It is a fucking invasion. But US has the soft power and the hard power and the cooperations from other countries to be like, hey, nahi, humne kuch nahi kara hai, this is legal and whatever. Everyone fucking knows that this is not about drugs. Maduro, and we covered this earlier, Maduro literally has said that they want to give like all of the support to America in fighting drugs and whatever, par nahi. Attack karna hai, because Trump stopped talking to Maduro right after he came to power. Let's be clear. So a cross-border OP is where India loses 6 jets along with 3 top-tier Rafales. Imagine what will happen in a war. Oh, lol. Yeah, like, I don't know about like if losing or whatever. I'm not even going to comment on that. But forget all of that. Like, India couldn't manage its image. Forget a war. It couldn't manage its image after OP Sindoor. और फिर रेड फोर्ट पे ब्लास्ट हुआ. वी हैव क्रेडिबल एविडेंस दैट दिस इज फ्रॉम पाकिस्तान. किधर है ओपी सिंदूर 2.0? जब ओपी सिंदूर हुआ तो आके उठ के आ गए थे मोलने को. ओ वी आर लाइक, ओ ये हमारा क्या है, क्या बोल रहे थे वो साले कि या लाइक ओपी सिंदूर इज नॉट ओवर, ओपी सिंदूर इज कीप गोइंग, इट्स कंटिन्यूअस. पर नहीं, अभी क्या हुआ? टू मैनेज वर्ल्ड इमेज कोई ट्रेड नहीं करता घंटा. इतना सारा like what do you think is going to happen with this much tax on Indians? Red Fort blast, Indian Muslims caught. Okay. जमिया मिल सॉरी क्या वो था, जैश ए मोहम्मद वगैरह से कनेक्शन था. दैट इज बेस्ड इन पाकिस्तान. गवर्नमेंट बोलिए, द पुलिस, द NIA नहीं कहा था. Why wasn't OP Sindoor 2.0 created? Because तभी बोला था हम लाख दिखाएंगे. OP Sindoor is a continuous thing. It has not stopped. Where is Modi now? Where is Modi after Red Fort? No. Tell me where is Modi? Where is Modi? Like you want to blame Indian Muslims, you blame Indian Muslims. There मैं उसके बारे में कुछ नहीं बोलूँगा because तुम नल्ले हो ही. The point is, where is Modi now? What has he done after Red Fort blasts? पहले तो पहलगाम के लोग कैप्चर नहीं किए. फुकट में बिना प्रूफ का पाकिस्तान पे हमला किया. जब अभी प्रूफ आया है कि there is credible evidence कि this is based in Pakistan, this is based in Pakistan, this has been supported by Pakistan, अभी OP Sindoor 2.0 नहीं है. क्यों नहीं है? क्योंकि इंटरनेशनली इज्जत गई है. अभी फैक्ट तो पूरा फैक्ट बोलना. टेल मी द एंटायर फैक्ट. व्हाट आर योर रिस्पॉन्सेस? Why anything this happened? We covered this. We had like, तू जाके वो वीडियो देख के आना. You go watch this video पहले. Like इज्जत थी भाई अपनी. We were called as like the protectors of Asia and shit. Like the managers, we were the table. We were heading towards being like Turkey, but not as bad. We had a lot more ijjat. Like, I know you are not going to believe this, but we had a lot more ijjat internationally. That's why even after World Trade Center happened and after all of this, Indians were looked at as like, oh, Indians are like smart, we have to hire more Indians, वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. अभी क्या इज्जत जा रही है internationally, देखा है तूने? No. We were looked as an credible opposition to China. As like the people who are going to like counter China, keep Asia in balance, वगैरह वगैरह. अभी नहीं, अभी कुछ नहीं वो. Not as in protectors as such, like that was wrong. Not protectors, but like a counterbalance to China and China's rise and whatever. We were looked at like, why do you think there was so much US involvement in India? Like, do you really think that US involvement in India was like out of because US just likes India? No, it wasn't. It was mostly because we were a rising economy that was counterbalancing China for a long time. In trade. I mean, there's no one. China has won. China is a superpower. India bhi can't even compare to Pakistan for most parts. Like, you may be like very young to not know this. Like, I was still 10 years old and I was still hearing this out. And you can just go back, check. Like, there's Wayback Machine, there's like news and out, whatever. Go check. There's no one to come. Like, China has won. Now China compares itself with America. Like, India ko dhul mein rakh chhod gaya hai China ne. Literally, India can't do shit against China anymore. घंटा कुछ नहीं करेंगे. That's why the dear Prime Minister in 2019 or 2018, when China invaded, it started building its like roads in Arunachal Pradesh, and like the whole thing happened in 2019 where like Chinese soldiers beat up Indian soldiers. It's like, कोई नहीं आया है, there's no invasion, there's nothing, there's nothing happening. And China was like, नहीं, हमने तो कुछ नहीं किया ही नहीं है. Arunachal Pradesh is anyway like Chinese territory according to them. Oh, it was looked into. It was very much looked into. Like trade-wise, India was going very high. Never, we were always. Okay, hold on. First time chatter. India can beat China. It's just gonna take 10 years. They do have the time though. Okay. I don't know who you are, but that is quite the joke. Yeah, Obama's pivot to Asia's policy. Like, like India can beat China, it's gonna take 10 years. It's going to like it just keeps coming up and over and over and over again. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, like नहीं होने वाला है. India is left behind. Average age of China is 40. They aren't having enough kids. Yeah, that is legitimately an issue. Hold on. Let me just do one thing, okay? I'm gonna try and get these chats as well on the screen. ये बहुत हो गया. So thank you for coming. I know you're new here. Yeah, true. India versus China is a joke. Hold on. Let me just try and get like these people from the chat on the, what's the word for it? 800? No, this is like 200 by 600 का width चाहिए हमको. No, I have to log in here now. Fuck. नहीं मेरे को नहीं करना है login. So what we are going to do is we are going to log in here. I'm gonna get these chats on. Like if one of the very nice things about this is like सब यहाँ पे live होता है. यहाँ पे कुछ I never hide shit from anyone. Anyway, fuck it. ये नहीं होना वाला. Remove, yeah. I'm just gonna do a window capture here quickly. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. ये दिख रहा है क्या सबको? Is this clear? Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Like now I'm stuck between. Now I'm claustrophobic. It's not if India focuses exclusively on military and China just drops the ball on demographic. Either way, it wouldn't be an actual war. No one would win, and America is moving with little tech. It has to India. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. You are not going to have an actual war with anyone anyway. Like this is not going to be a war. China does not do actual wars. It doesn't go out and fight. It's pointless. China does economic domination. Economic domination mein India is literally nowhere. What are you saying? If US counter to China was India, so what have they accepted defeat? Yeah, they have. That's why they pivoted, right? That's why they directly started assessing America. Sorry, America started assessing China directly. There's a reason for it. India was looked at as the counterbalance to China. And when Modi came into power, everything just like gone. It's not something they can win alone, but they would never have to fight that war alone. No, they're not going to fight a war. It's not going to be a war. It's literally going to be dominance, economic dominance. Yeah, the policy has been scrapped. Like even I would say Obama would scrap this policy right now, mostly because we don't have Manmohan Singh at the helm. Because see, people aren't stupid. Okay, like you have to understand that people aren't stupid. They are not going to be like, people aren't like stupid. People care. People in America aren't like stupid. We think like, oh, Trump is there, that's why he's stupid, that's why whatever, he's gonna do whatever. But like his advices aren't stupid, especially when it comes to China. That's why he's giving a free pass to China in everything right now as well. Like China ke paas free pass kiska hai? They are not tariffed at all. Like the whole thing started with tariffing China. Abhi China pe zero tariff. They are not going to use India anymore at all because of like Modi being at the helm. Because they know, like, again, I have said this again in previous streams. If you have an authoritarian regime, it is not good for economic prosperity. It's just not. Especially with what Modi is doing. Yeah, economic warfare is China's entire thing and it's winning. That is the baseline. You can talk about, oh, US ka, like I saw this weird ass, like this guy is followed by Zubair. This guy is like claiming to be like a really good economic advisor. I think it's a news reporter or someone. I recently saw that and he's like, someone was like, oh, recession is going to come, which is going to come in America. And he was like, there is no recession. American GDP grew by like 4.3 or something, or 14% or something. And like, oh, it's not going to come, GDP grew. And I'm just like kitna pagal aadmi hai wo? Like, are you fucking stupid? Like, how the fuck? Like, American GDP is based around this idea that if people just change hands, like people just exchange money without actually producing anything, the GDP will get higher. No one is saying that we are superpower. What is being said is India had potential and world expected things from India. It doesn't anymore. Exactly. Yeah, GDP in America is really hollow. That is exactly what happened with like Nvidia, right? Like abhi Nvidia pays ChatGPT wala, OpenAI pays like Oracle, and it keeps circling. That's why American GDP is even that high. And like I was like, okay, this guy is followed by Zubair. This guy is like producing. Oh, why is recession not gonna come? He's like fact checking someone with actual not facts. Thank you. Again, by the way, if you want to send me information that we can cross-check, that we can check, we can talk about, the Discord is open. You can join the Discord at any point. Bliss is currently sending me information and links that we will discuss right now. If you ever want to cross-check anything that we say here, all the information is also available over there. We have a very nice community. I would not say if you're a Sangi to join, because this is not a very Sangi community. But it is open to all if you want to learn. I'll as much say. I just don't think India is completely out of the game. See, India needs a change, like a extreme change. Like from policies that we are using right now. We need to stop fucking kick out like Adani Ambani first of all, because they control too much of the Indian like market. That they are toxic as fuck because they themselves is bloated on their own like valuation. 42% of India's GDP is fake as per IMF, and as per like who's the bald guy? I forgot, the old bald guy. He was on like with The Wire. He was giving interviews with The Wire. So it is said that 42% of the GDP is fake. That's why we need to like rectify all of that. We need to rectify poverty. India has the youngest population, working population, which is an extremely good thing. And Modi has made sure that none of it is useful anymore. Can you please elaborate on what they expected out of India and how they were helping India? Like what was expected out of it? It was expected that India is going to be a manufacturing hub, and we were heading towards that. India was supposed to be a research and manufacturing hub to counter China. Because India has the potential to develop similar like silicon factories, silicon conductor factories, chip factories, vagara vagara. So it was supposed to balance out China. Like not to let China's influence grow too much, as Bliss said. And they were starting on it. But because of the rise of Hindutva, we kind of lost all of that. Because you can't have so much instability within the region and then expect companies to come here and build factories. See, that's not going to help. India is in a unique position that China isn't anymore, that can move towards Russia. See, China is doing anyway. Quad was a step in that direction. Yeah. India is in a unique position. See, again, China is doing the exact same thing. China is dealing with America and Russia right now. It openly supports Russia, and America, it is one of the only countries with zero tariffs. It's good with everything. Like Trump keeps calling my friend G every 5 seconds, and like tells them, oh, we are going to tariff you, ruins American economy, and then removes the tariff altogether. America needs a change in government. Like it quite literally needs a change in government, like they keep saying. Were they building factories? Yes, they were. They were. They were. Like Indian Apple factory and whatever was already in process before. It got cancelled recently and then came back and then cancelled recently and then Trump tanked it. This literally was the thing. Like, I'm not even joking. This was quite literally a thing. I remember it. I'm not that old and I still remember it. Were you never told that? I'm surprised you weren't. Not just Apple, like there were other companies interested. Like India was like the hub for Microsoft as well, no? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, Bliss. Like India was the thing for Amazon as well. Sorry, not Amazon. Microsoft. Like सारे लोग Microsoft बहुत करते थे India में. That's why like even the soft power initiatives, like what Bill Gates did in India, was in lieu of creating factories and shit. It never did happen eventually because of the rise of Sanghism, but again, it was looked into. And that's like mostly the problem, right? Like when people say that Modi has ruined India, it is not just about communism or communality or whatever. Not communism, sorry. Communal politics. It is also about the general growth of the country per se. Like the job market and whatever. That is also a big issue with Modi, because while he uses the guise of like religion and whatever to tell you like, oh, nothing has changed, nothing is a problem. It has changed a lot from the beginning. We used to be a commercial hub, now we are not. Yeah. So, okay, there is a funny thing about the GDP. So, India GDP calculation under Manmohan Singh was very strict. Extremely strict. So after 2014, to show that हमारी government में एक साल में GDP बढ़ाया, the Modi government changed the equation and made it less stringent, which meant the GDP rose. And they were like, oh, look, हमारा GDP कितना अच्छा है. They changed it again in, I think, 2018 and 2019 because India's GDP was falling. So now it went up ahead. And now they are saying they are going to involve the informal sector within the GDP calculation. I don't know how they are going to get the figures, but they are going to involve that, and the GDP is also going to rise now. And like we will, like, official Indian GDP would be like third, but again, it's fake. No one believes us anymore. Like internationally, we are at grade C, which is bad. It is known by public and economists that 43% of India's GDP is fake. It has just been blown up. How can you make your money lucrative outside of India? I don't think China can do with that with you. See, like China is creating No, you're getting this wrong. You're comparing one with like the dollar. China is creating and has been trying to create an international currency as well on the side. Like, I'm not joking, you can check. The last time it wanted to create a BRICS currency. The BRICS currency last time was tanked by India because it wanted to suck up to America. See what happened. Like, to the point where Trump came out and said like, oh, BRICS is no more. We have control of India. And India is a founding member of BRICS. It wanted to create a currency for BRICS itself, like the euro. For trading, China wants to trade more within their currency as well. India is the issue there. India is like talking a lot about this. One is not a joke. Also, remember, the exchange rate of one is kept in check by the Chinese. They're doing it on purpose. Like, oh, you can say, oh, the exchange rate is so high and whatever. That also applies to India. But India's exchange rate is not dictated by India. China's is, because they are like, they're quite literally the people who produce everything now. So don't think of it this way, like, oh, one is a joke outside of China. They don't care. They like, doesn't matter to them. They are growing their own economy anyway. Like, they eliminated homelessness. Come on. They are trying to make a big ass dam not like on the Brahmaputra, and India can't say shit. Like, did you know that? Possibly not. Anyway, we should probably get back to this now. So we have a lot of links on Discord as well. Thank you so much, Bliss. You are a bliss. Seriously, also guys, I'm going to say this again. If you are also on the Reddit, Bliss is also on the Reddit, you can follow her there. She does really good writing over there. She hasn't asked me to say this. I'm going to say this anyway. Like, her writing is the best. Opposition is, yeah, so Machado, the gremlin, is saying that she's going to take over power, basically, at this point. She's going to lead the transition, and Gonzalez is vying to immediately lead the transitional government in South American country. Today, we were prepared to enforce our mandate and take power. Again, I will say this again, she has 10% acceptance. This is going to be a revolt against her. We are going to restore order, release the political prisoners, but build an exceptional country and bring back children. That is not true. What she is doing is she's selling off her country right now. Like, we checked this earlier. Her plans is to sell off Venezuelan oil to America. Like, just give it to them. How did it turn out for Iraq, for example? Just imagine what is going to happen. They are not going to be rich like the Saudis. They are going to be stripped away from their oil reserves. They are not going to be rich. They are not going to be the center of production or anything. America is just going to take the oil away. Make it who would govern Venezuela. Again, Trump should not be the... Then take data of IMF and World Bank for reference. In what scenario, dude, you're coming in randomly? US has recognized Gonzalez as the country's legitimate leader after he defeated Maduro by more than 201 in 2014 election. Gonzalez ran in place of Machado after she was banned from running up by the Maduro-run High Court. Maduro ignored the election results and remained in power. President Trump on Saturday said his administration is making the decision for whom to govern Venezuela in the aftermath. This should not happen. This should not happen. A normal country would, like, first of all, that this is how you know this is a colonial invasion. This is not real. Like, this is like the British invading India and saying, like, we are going to put in like some like Mountbatten to rule, or we are going to decide. They did the same in Japan, by the way. You can't take that chance on letting someone else run it and take over where he left. Trump told Fox News in a call interview. We actually checked this earlier. It's a fucked up situation, to be honest with you. Like, Venezuelan people are suffering because of it. I think there are riots starting up in Venezuela. Thank you again, Bliss, for sending the links. If you have a link that you want me to check, go on Discord. The link is available on YouTube. The link, I think I'm going to post it here as well. You can be a part. It is not paid. It is not members only, or it is nothing. It is just literally for people to talk. It is a safe space. Again, hold on. Bliss, did you change the link? Because that's the Discord link if anyone wants to join here. But keep the link for like never expire. It's just easier to manage. So this is from Caracas, the states in defense of Venezuela. They are invaded, by the way. Let me just be clear. They are invaded. This is another one from Tehran Times. Come on, Lord Jesus. I'm double streaming, so it just takes time.
Unido jamás será vencido. Un asedio constante en el Caribe, que hemos visto que han bombardeado lanchas en el Caribe y que habían amenazado a este pueblo de hacer una acción bélica contra nuestra república.
Vamos a sacar a la República, vamos a
See, the people are not happy in Venezuela. I can tell you as much. No one likes to be invaded. This is not, again, okay, it is true that this is not exactly already mentioned that IMF has downgraded India's GDP. Oh, yeah, yeah. I didn't mention that, yeah. So, yeah, what was I saying? Yeah. When it comes to Venezuela, no one likes an invasion. This was the wrong thing to do. Even if you believe that Maduro was a dictator, he was whatever, invasion is not the correct answer. The invasion happened only because, and I'm going to say this again, it happened only because of the fact that Trump wants the oil. And if he had actually worked with Maduro, he wouldn't have gotten the oil. Now he can through Machado. There is nothing more in this scenario that we are supposed to be covering. Yeah, okay. And there's just one more thing with fucking Israel. There's always fucking Israel, man. Like, jeez, I want a time where I don't have to talk about Israel when it comes to America. Let me be clear. I don't want to do this. Israel is too much in America's shit. It literally governs American foreign policy at this point. Israel opposition leader urged Iran's leaders to pay close attention to Venezuela in what appeared to be a threat of violent regime change. Because again, one of the reasons why Machado supports Israel and Israel supports Machado is because Iran and Venezuela were trading with each other. They are allies. Yair Lapid made the comment in a brief post on X after the United States launched the attack strikes on Venezuela and said it has captured President Nicolas Maduro. His remarks came after officials and politicians around the world condemned the US operations in the oil-rich South American country as violation to the international law. In Iran, an ally of Venezuela was among the first states to condemn the US for its flagrant violations of Venezuela's national sovereignty and territorial integrity. This is extremely important. The US military attack on Venezuela constitutes a clear violation of the fundamental principles of United Nations Charter and the basic rules of international law, the Iranian Foreign Ministry said. So Trump then went on to threaten Iran. On Friday, Trump threatened US intervention in Iran after the protests erupted over the cost of living crisis. It can be like there are certain outlets that have said that even those protests were backed by the CIA. And again, sources that I tend to trust. I'm not going to show them because it's not 100%. As always, CIA intervention is never 100%. The only CIA intervention known that was 100%, I think, was Mexico. That you know, because they got caught because of their use of One Piece. And like really old One Piece fans, not happening. They called them like, oh, it is a student protest, and every single leader was older than fuck. So, yeah. We are locked and loaded, ready to go, America said. Ali Larinjan, the Secretary of Iranian Supreme National Council, responded on X. Trump should know that intervention by the US in the domestic problems corresponding to the chaos in the entire region and the destruction of US interests, likely referring to US military bases in the region that Tehran could target it as it did in Qatar. Yeah, Happy New Year. How low will he stoop to distract from... Oh. Very low, Kumar. Very low. Like, America does not care. Trump does not care. But it is not just about Trump and Epstein file. It's also about Israel, and it's also about Machado. Again, we are covering everything at this point. We are just nearly done with this. If they are, we are going to have to knock them down. We'll knock them the hell out. Like Trump is like, oh, we are going to fight again another war with Iran over Israel. Congratulations, America. You fucked yourself. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who met Trump earlier this week in the US, made it clear that during interviews, the American media, that he was making a case for renewed military action against Iran and was seeking US backing all over again. And he's always going to. Like, Trump is a Zionist. This means, oh, it never was, my friend. It is like Obama got one, Kissinger got one. Come on. When was a Nobel Peace Prize ever decent? It never was. It like, if you are in support of US interests within a region, you would get the Nobel Peace Prize. That is what it means. Like US, like UN and all of these organizations are controlled by the US. Like, the Nobel Peace Prize is on the same level as the FIFA Peace Prize. Like Trump, Netanyahu said, like they, as in Iran, is in cahoots with the Maduro regime. Like this was so blatantly obvious. This was so blatantly obvious. Trump is still claiming, oh, it is about drugs. It is not about drugs. It is literally not about drugs. What's this? Fuck it. There's so many fucking links. Jesus Christ. Sometimes I'm just like, I need a better way to manage all of this shit. When shit like this happens, there's a lot to talk about. There's another video that was sent by Bliss. Guys, like the stream and subscribe. Don't forget. And hit the noti bell. Thank you.
Defendiendo la patria, estamos reclamando por esta invasión del Imperio Norteamericano.
We demand that the US government return our President Nicolas Maduro and our first combatant Celia Flores. We demand the return of our President Nicolas Maduro, he said.
Que nos devuelvan a nuestro presidente Nicolás Maduro y a nuestra primera combatiente Celia Flores. Es una violación al derecho internacional, es una violación a todo tipo de norma internacional y nosotros, el pueblo de Venezuela, junto aquí, a todo nuestro pueblo, exigimos que nos devuelvan a nuestro presidente Nicolás Maduro.
Like quite literally, this was an act of invasion. This is a flagrant misuse. Like, what is the good word for it? Like, they're literally going against international policy at this point. I think the UN has said it themselves. Like, Trump is going against international policy, international rules. So you cannot invade a country like this. They release a picture of Maduro. Jesus Christ, he's not in a good state. This is not, yeah. That's like the current picture. He's being transferred into Southern District of New York. No, they are not. They have said they're not. The issue is like Taiwan is considered as official Chinese territory by the US and the international public. I don't think it is a well-known fact. It is considered Chinese territory. They're not going to attack their own territory because everyone in Taiwan themselves are Han Chinese. And there is a growing momentum within Taiwan, that they want to join up again with China. It is like currently the majority opinion is that Taiwanese people want to stay autonomous while working in China. They want to still be an autonomous region. There is a small faction that says that China, yes, they were caught in the crossfire. We covered that. So there's a growing faction within Taiwan that says that they want to be part of China, and there's also another growing faction that says they want to be completely independent. And as long as the Chinese the Join China faction needs to grow, if China wants to make Taiwan part of it, as long as the majority still wants autonomy while working in China, they are not going to take over. The demonstration was anti-US because Taiwan signed a deal with the US for military. That is all it was. Like saying like, hey, stop that, whatever you're doing. It is not going to be a takeover of Taiwan. I mean, I can be wrong. I don't believe it's going to happen because it would be stupid for it to happen. But then again, like, they can use Venezuela as a cover, or they can use like if US attacks like Greenland, because again, I'm shitting you not, Greenland needs like larger policing and larger military from the Danish government, mostly because of the US intervention and their thought that US is going to attack. That can trigger the Taiwanese invasion as well. But it's not going to happen without it, because if Taiwan interferes, if China like has a military occupation of Taiwan, no one is going to be trading with China, especially America. They'll have a reason to like go against it directly to try and take over Taiwan again, because again, the silicon factories are in Taiwan. So it is quite stupid, like international policy wise, to take over Taiwan. But again, I might be wrong. That I saw a meme, Greenland, rare earth, Venezuela. It is quite literally what it is. It's not a meme. This is the reasoning Trump has. Like Trump, why he would attack Greenland as well. See, because the polar ice caps are melting. And because the polar ice caps are melting, there are a lot of earth minerals that are available to mine after the polar ice caps melt. That's why they want to take over Greenland. Like that's why I'm not actually also pro China and pro Russia on this point, because they're also trying to set up their bases in the Arctic. And as you know, I am a researcher. I work in the Arctic, which means I don't like either of them. Like they are just trying to ruin that environment too. And the moment the Arctic is ruined, you can say bye-bye to the world. Like this is not even a joke. Quite literally, you can say bye-bye to the world just because if the Arctic is taken over. Hold on, I need to put this. Oh yeah, there. Comment. Anyway, so so what we are going to cover the other story right now. So we are going to move on to that. We are covering Mamdani actually wrote a letter to Umar Khalid and everyone is crying over it. I don't know what you sent me on Discord right now. Reporters on ground. Okay. Camila Press. Hold on. We're covering Zoran for now. We'll let more news filter in. So as you know, Zoran recently won the NYC elections. Good thing. It is amazing that he did win, which is nice. He was sworn in, and and something that has come in, that he has written a letter in support of Umar Khalid, and everyone is going shitless over it. Like, obviously.
New York City Mayor.
Yeah, thank you so much. No, I'm gonna follow them. Don't worry. Thank you so much. Like, don't worry about it. I'm just saying, like, we'll let more information filter in, because Venezuela is just happening. Unless you want me to cover like the print and annoy the shit out of you. We will see. Don't keep your hopes up in this regard. Like, there is no public movement against it. Like, the government does not have to follow international law or even Indian law. They're going to find an excuse. Maybe. So I'm not too hopeful, because if there is no like protest movements going on against the government right now, the government is not likely to move. But that is what I believe.
Zoran Mamdani has sparked a debate in India after expressing public solidarity with jailed activist Umar Khalid.
He's not a jailed activist. I mean, he's a jailed activist, but he's the one in the right. They say jailed activist like, oh, he's like a bad guy. He's not. One judge is upright. I mean, the SC can hold the decision, you know.
In a handwritten letter later shared publicly, Mamdani has said that he often thinks about Khalid's words on not letting bitterness take over. He mentioned a meeting of him with Khalid's parents, and he has also added that many continue to think of Umar Khalid. Now, Umar Khalid has been in jail since 2020, facing serious charges linked to February Delhi riots and alleged conspiracy under Delhi's anti-terror law. Indian authorities have maintained that this case involves grave allegations and is currently before the courts. Mamdani's letter, meanwhile, does not explicitly call for bail for Umar Khalid, but there is a direct appeal for...
Yeah, obviously it doesn't. Like,
bail that have been made by several others from US Congress members, at least 8 of them, who have written to India's ambassador with regard to the same matter. The big question, when global political figures express solidarity in ongoing legal cases, where should a democracy draw the line between legitimate concerns and interference in its judicial process?
So interference in its judicial process, you should draw a line there. But the issue is this is not a legitimate judicial process, because the reason why he's not getting bail is because they keep postponing the bail hearing, not that it is heard and denied or whatever. Like Umar Khalid was, if I am not wrong and I'm not confusing him, Sergio Liman is under UAPA, which is a draconian law to begin with. It is a law that should not have been. We will always blame the Congress for that. For creating it. And as we say before, and we covered this before a little bit, laws that are created even with the best of intentions have the ability to be used as problematically as possible. That's why you don't create weird ass laws like this. I know it's this whatever. That's what I'm trying to say. Like if this was justified, his arrest, it would be called an interference. Now it is a plea for the Indian government to do something right for once. And like America has to tell us to do something right.
That's the question we asked today. We know that anybody is free to express one's views, but Mamdani now occupies a constitutional post. Umar Khalid's matter is in the Supreme Court. Doesn't this letter also raise concerns about meddling in internal...
Also, India interfering in Bangladesh, okay. Someone else interfering in India, not okay. Yeah, exactly. India has continuously interfered in Bangladeshi matters to the point there's a reason why the anti-India sentiment exists, and we covered it earlier.
And judicial affairs. The letter does reflect concern for personal liberty and won't it do any harm for Umar Khalid? That's also another concern that some critics have raised. Remember that international eco has its own merits and demerits, but India is the world's largest democracy, so there are several...
That is debatable. India might be the world's largest managed democracy or an electoral autocracy right now.
Nuances there. I'm joined now by Umar Khalid's father, Dr. Syed Qasim Rasool Ilyas. Thank you, Mr. Ilyas, for your time and for speaking to NDTV. Tell us about your meeting with Zoran Mamdani. When did you meet him and why did you meet him? And most importantly, how was the meeting like? What was discussed?
Actually, I had been to USA to visit my daughter who is living in Kansas City. So I desired to talk to Zoran Mamdani. I contacted his team and they have fixed my interview with Zoran Mamdani. I met him on 9th of December and it was for 25 minutes. We had a discussion on different issues. So actually, I wanted to thank him for the letter he...
Yeah, exactly. India is an electoral autocracy.
So actually, the jail diary
like
he has read in 2023 in some function. So I thank...
Again, like the stream, share the stream. Thank you very much. If you're new here, especially. On even debatable, lol, VDEMs literally downgraded India to electoral... That's what I'm saying.
Thank him and wish him that, to congratulate him that he got elected as a mayor of the...
What's this? Please, do you know what is this prehistoric transparency best viewer streambo.com remove? I have no idea what that
largest city of the world, in New York, and he appreciated that, and he said that actually I am always thinking about Umar. I am very much concerned about Umar's incarceration, and it is too long. He must get bail, at least bail, and the trial should start.
Speaking, Mamdani is like a very stand-up person according to this. Like even his winning speech was quite decent. Like I haven't heard anyone else like give a speech like him.
Want to convey anything to Umar Khalid, so he said that yes, I will pen a few lines for him, and he has written in front of me 3-4 lines to addressing Umar Khalid, and that is very nice. And he was a very sober and very down-to-earth man.
So this is the same letter that he wrote that day in front of you, which has been released now. Tell us a little bit more about the conversations that you had with Zoran Mamdani, because he's an important public figure now. Was it largely about the trial of Umar Khalid, his incarceration, or did you also discuss other things?
No, my wife accompanied me because we two were there. And actually, the thing which Hani, I appreciate, I was very glad that he remembered Umar Khalid, and he said that I am following his the entire case. And I appreciate that he is a good activist and he is raising the issues of the common people. That is more concern for me, because actually I have also raised some common issues of the people, those who are connected to the New York City people, and especially the immigrants and other people. So I am glad to see that Umar Khalid is also raising the issues of tribal people and Dalit people and marginalized communities, and especially he has taken up that issue of the anti-CA movement. So I am following him, and I am and I appreciate him that he is definitely taking up the issue.
Right. Mr. Ilyas, how do you feel about the letter that has been written by Zoran Mamdani to Umar Khalid? Because he speaks about bitterness. He says that he thinks of him quite often. There are mixed views to this letter, because several people are also questioning why a person holding a constitutional post in a different country, in a foreign country, in a country like the United States of America, is writing about somebody who is an accused here, who's facing serious charges. They're saying that this is also interference in judicial autonomy of this country. How do you look at those kind of responses?
There is nothing wrong in Zoran Mamdani's letter, because actually he says that Umar, I remember you and I appreciate your words, and I am always thinking about you. I am very much concerned about you. These are the thing which is nothing interference in the country's affairs. And actually he asked me that do you want me to say something about Umar Khalid? Should I raise this issue here? I told him, no, everything is taken care there, and the matter is taken up by the highest court of the country, that's Supreme Court, and we are expecting a very positive result from the Supreme Court. So your appreciation and your concern is very, 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 we are grateful for that. So nothing wrong in that letter. I don't know why the people are raising doubts about it.
Mr. Ilyas, are you now optimistic about the case? Because there is international attention to this case. Zoran Mamdani and the other Congress men and women who have written letters to the ambassador have brought a lot of spotlight to this case of your son, who's facing serious charges. International attention doesn't often come with positive vibes. There are also cons to it. Are you optimistic that this will be seen in a positive light? Because many would say that this is also pressure building. Are you optimistic that the courts will take this in the right spirit?
I am very much confident that the way the bail application, bail matter was conducted in Supreme Court last time I attended the hearing. So I am very much hopeful that this time, inshallah, Umar Khalid will get the bail. And as far as the 6 congressmen and 2 senators have written a letter to Indian ambassador raising this issue, that is also not an interference. That was they are asking that there should be a fair trial for Umar Khalid, and he should get bail, because after at least five good years have been lost in the jail. So when judicial
5 good years have been lost in jail on the fact that the Indian government keep postponing the bail hearing, not because he was deemed guilty. He wasn't deemed guilty. He wasn't deemed innocent. He wasn't whatever. Again, his entire arrest was illegal. The reason why they keep postponing was the police kept saying, we don't have enough proof, we need more time. And the judges kept postponing the bail.
He says that jail when our judges and even Supreme Court of India is saying that bail is a rule, jail is an exception. So that should come out.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Ilyas, for joining us with those answers. Thank you so much. Also, we're joined by Dr. Anand Ranganathan, who's an author. We have Ashok Sajjanhar, former diplomat. We have Sanjay Jha, who's a political analyst.
Jesus, why do they have the fucking author there? Like, I know this guy is fucking annoying. This guy is fucking stupid. Like, kuch bhi matlab, kisko bhi lat nahi hai.
And we have Dr. Fuad Halim, who's a spokesperson of the CPM. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast. Dr. Ranganathan, to you first. I want to be able to speak about the condition of women in Iran. I want to be able to speak about Hindus in Bangladesh. So let people speak about whoever they want. What should stop them?
Good evening, Masuda, and good evening to my fellow panelists. First of all, I think in the interest of disclosure, it merits to be stated that Umar Khalid's father, whom you just interviewed, was actually a member of the banned terror organization SIMI.
He's a fucking liar. Jesus.
He was possibly the president of SIMI.
Possibly
and
the
he's
president.
the one
he doesn't
right
know
now
it himself. Come the fuck on. Like, I haven't watched this before. I can tell you Anand Raghunatham is full of shit.
waxing eloquent about justice system of India. And he is the
Again,
son.
the bail hearing kept getting pushed because the police kept saying they did not have enough to charge, and the judge was saying, go again, you have again 6 more months to charge. That is what we are talking about here.
The father of the son who said, can India really be called free if we continue to occupy Kashmir?
Yes, we continue to occupy Kashmir. Jesus Christ, we have covered this multiple times. The Kashmir issue within India is a big issue because India takes its, management tactics from Israel, and we treat Kashmiris like Israelis treat Gazans. That is not a joke. That is just fact. And even if he did say this, he has the right to say this. He has the right to dissent in India.
He talks about Kashmir as Indian occupied Kashmir.
Yeah, that is the official way to refer to Kashmir, as Indian occupied Kashmir. Move on.
This is an absolute brazen attempt to influence the case, to spread a
Raghunathan needs to go fuck himself.
Fake narrative.
Not fake, internationally accepted.
But you know, Americans have a habit of meddling in other nations' affairs as
yeah, so when India meddles in Bangladesh, it's not like meddling. It is something we have to do. But like if Zoran Mamdani says like, oh, there is someone incarcerated, not even the government, mind you, just like Zoran Mamdani, I think this even before his what's a better word than coronation? Give me a better word than coronation. I'm very India brained. His coming into power as the mayor, this was said before. He was a normal person. He was the mayor-elect, but that just means he's a normal citizen, not part of the government then.
As though it was their birthright, so there's no surprise there. Shit. But Zoran is doing it for an altogether other reason.
What reason? Give me the reason.
Solidarity with a fellow communist and a fellow Muslim. Remember what Dr. Ambedkar said about allegiance of a Muslim to his faith and brotherhood? I did not repeat that.
Okay, okay. Take a step back here and see what he's saying. Like the only reason that Mamdani is supporting Umar Khalid is not because Umar Khalid has been unjustly kept in jail without bail, without a hearing for 5 fucking years, but the only reason he's doing it is because he's Muslim. Like this kind of rhetoric should get you banned from a news channel. Get you banned from should have at least an FIR against you for inciting communal violence or hate speech or whatever. But no, this is Modi's India, I guess.
These agenda-driven semi-literates don't even know.
He's an author, mind you. He's stupid himself. He's not literate himself. At least Mamdani is still someone who has read enough about socialism and communism and whatever. Raghunathan reads storybooks.
That Indian judges have denied bail to Umar not because of his faith, but because of theirs. And their faith is justice. To those claiming Umar was denied bail or that his trial
He's just screaming like, I don't even understand what he's saying anymore.
Has been delayed for 5 years because he's Muslim. Would they also argue that Colonel...
Literally, go read the transcripts. Go read the transcripts. Transcripts say the only reason the bail has been denied is because either there was no time for the judge for this to sit, or the government could not charge something right now, so they needed more time. Yeah, Anand Raghunatham is shit. He makes zero sense.
Colonel Purohit was denied bail for 8 years and faced a trial delay of 10 years because he's a Hindu. What rot is this? Number one, look, Vasudha, I speak as a free speech absolutist who has
Free speech absolutists crying about someone calling Kashmir India occupied Kashmir.
For the free speech rights of some of the most despicable and evil characters one could find. But this entire issue is not a free speech issue at all.
It is literally a free speech issue. Like by definition, a free speech issue, even in his beginning arguments. He said he was in jail because he's someone who's spreading information like, oh, Kashmir under India is called India occupied Kashmir. Where is free speech absolutism? It's free speech absolutism as long as the speech I like.
Giving a hate speech is one thing, and by the way, I include hate speech in free speech. But planning and orchestrating a communal riot, being in the front line of mob carrying
communal riot. Oh my God. Please, riot. Where? Where was the riot? There was literally a peaceful protest. This guy is a free speech absolutist because he is spreading fake hate speech.
In their hand, inciting a mob, pushing the police barricades violently, being culpable of unlawful assembly.
The police couldn't find proof. That's why the bail was extended as much as it is. The police couldn't find proof. And this guy has proof. Why doesn't he go to the police? Make their case.
Assembly and writing. Now, this is no longer a free speech issue. I'm sorry. These are serious charges concerning not a purported hate speech, but rather incitement and planning a riot. Number two, yes, bail, they say, should be the rule and jail the exception. Fine. But let's talk common sense out here, shall we?
That is common sense.
Not every under trial gets bail. There are rules.
Every under trial needs to get bail, because if you don't give bail to the people under trial, you are creating a system where you can indefinitely keep someone in jail, even if they may or may not have done something. That is the basics of this. The way you treat your accused is how you treat your normal person. That is also, we have seen something in America right now, is because with ICE raids, for example, if you do not give bail, if you arrest people randomly without proof, and if you have the power to that, what is to say that they are not going to come after you, a normal citizen, for just saying your mind? They can keep literally anyone in jail without proof whatsoever. That is what Anand Raghunathan is supporting. Like, they should be able to keep anyone in jail without proof, even if they're guilty or not, for hundreds and years, like at this point. Swami died. Remember? He had Parkinson's. He wasn't even given a straw to drink water. He died in police custody without bail, without a hearing. And now it is coming out after the Koregaon violence that all of the shit that they found was actually manufactured. That's why you need bail. That's why you need bail, because you can't trust the police. You can't trust even the judiciary. That's why bail is not an exception. It is the rule.
For granting bail, flight risk, threat to the nation, destroying evidence, coercing witnesses. These and many other aspects are deliberated by courts before bail is granted.
Yes, they are. But when the police can't find any proof against the person accused, and that is why they keep delaying the bail hearing, is that justice?
Right. Now, in this case, why should there be an overriding of this process?
Okay, Dr. Halim, you heard Dr. Ranganathan now.
The former Chief Justice, is just 30 seconds.
Yeah.
The former Chief Justice, Vasudha, is on record saying the defense was deliberately delaying the hearing and pleading adjournments and plea. The bail has been heard and deliberated by the courts a dozen times. 3,000-page charge sheet, 30,000-page evidence, 133-page order, following which they have denied bail. And by the way, 71% of all prisoners in India are under trials rotting in jail without bail. Umar Khalid hasn't
They should get fucking bail.
been singled out. Just that you care more about him than a million others.
Okay, Dr. Halim, those are all very important points because foreign leaders may not really know what is happening in
most of these are not important points
cases.
because he's fucking lying.
Should foreign political leaders comment on cases that are still sub judice in another democracy? Dr. Halim.
Hear you fully.
Yes, sir. Please go on.
Yeah, I didn't hear the whole question.
You must have heard Dr. Ranganathan speak. Should foreign political leaders even be commenting on cases that they may not really know everything about, and these are cases that are still sub judice in another democracy, and this is United States of America trying to do that. How do you look at Zoran Mamdani's letter to Umar Khalid?
Well, I see Zoram Mamdani's letter to Umar Khalid as a very personal note from one person to another person across the globe, sharing their what we call common thoughts on their personal struggles. And I don't see anything more in that. The second part of the question is that you have this group of congressmen and senators led by Pramila Jayapal on the U.S. What do you call Senate, who gave our ambassador a letter in this regard, which I feel that the government of India should respond to initially. I don't know why it is taking the government of India, voted the government to respond, take so much time to respond. So I would be looking forward to the response of
we'll try
the
fixing
government
that connection
of India.
with you, Dr. Halim. Let me go to Ashok Sajjanhar. Ambassador Sajjanhar, the US Congress members, I was just looking at what they've written. They have clearly asked for bail and a fair trial is what I read. Is that an overstep? Because how should India be responding to those kind of letters?
India should be giving bail. I don't care if it's someone you consider the worst person ever. Bail is a right, because how we treat the accused is how we treat the normal person. Tomorrow you can be arrested out of the blue without anything, and then there is no way for you to say that I am actually innocent. If you don't get bail, you can be kept in jail indefinitely. That is the problem.
Should we be ignoring such outreach, rebut this, or engage diplomatically?
Yeah, thank you very much, Vasudha, for having me on the show. You see, I think it definitely is an overstep, because I think you mentioned it. India is the largest democracy. It has a very robust judicial system. It has a very vibrant press. Any issues that need to be raised are raised without any problem, without any difficulty in any of the fora. So, and this case has been receiving the judicial attention for a long, long time. It's not as if, it's not like a country where there is no law and orders issue. There is no judicial system. That is a closed society, closed system. Once a person is put behind bars, that nothing happens after that. You are not.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Inka Dilulu is very max. Like, whoa, who's this? Like the earlier guy. Sorry, I forgot what his name was. Like, I want Dilulu like that. I want Dilulu like the fucking like fucking Sangis. Like, I genuinely want Dilulu like fucking Sangis. I don't know what do they smoke. It's like, also, I don't like, I think there's a way to create our own stickers. I want to create sarin stickers.
Heard about him, so you have to raise the issue on international fora. No, not at all. This case is an open and shut case. Everyone knows about it. There are all these
open and shut case still pending for 5 years.
Very many luminaries within India who have also been raising this issue. Our judicial system hears them, what they have to say,
and then says that we need more time because the prosecution does not have enough evidence to charge him, so they need more time to find it. Just give the fucking bail.
It responds to them. It has had so many bail hearings. So why
did not they go yes or no? That is the question, because the prosecution has shit all
these 6 plus 2 people, and Zoran Mamdani included, they have not done due diligence. They are not aware of what is happening, what is the attention that the Indian judicial system has paid to this case. So they are talking without due diligence. If they are aware, Vasudha, I can say, okay, fine, they're aware of this also. Then that means that they are trying to influence their position, one of a mayor, the other of Congress persons, the other of senators. They are trying to influence the judicial system. Okay. I don't think this is right, particularly as far as, the democracy in India is concerned. The last point let me make there. I recognize a few of the names. I have heard and seen what Zoran Mamdani's case was. He is a totally anti-India establishment.
Please.
Whatever is...
Zoran Mamdani is not anti-India. That is also just a fucking lie. He has Indian roots. The only reason this former diplomat is saying that Zoran Mamdani is anti-India is because he's anti-Modi. because Mamdani is a Gujarati Muslim.
There in India, he's completely against it. He is, his job is the first day on the job. Let him get cracking on what he's been elected to do, not what he's sort of, sending out all these missives to all these people around the world. And why has one person been, in India?
That's an important point.
Like Zoran Mamdani is more Indian than Sanghis. That is true. He has done more for the Indian public than even fucking Modi or any of the Sanghis. Like him just doing for like New York Indians is far more than Modi has done is in 13 years.
Sanjay Jha, why is there so much attention on one person? Because there have been other accused and convicts as well, under trials as well, like Dr. Ranganathan was talking about. Mamdani not just met Khalid's parents, he also wrote a personal letter. Some people might just see it as an expression of personal empathy, but is it okay for an elected leader, for somebody holding a constitutional post to do something like
Guys,
this?
if you're new here, please subscribe.
Vasudha,
like
good evening to you, and just give me the same amount of time.
I don't know who this guy is.
That you gave to Mr. Ranganathan, and I will debunk a lot of fake news and disinformation that I think some people have shared on your program. This is important. This is important because we are not talking about a Muslim in prison. We are talking about a citizen of India. It doesn't matter whether he's left or right. He's a citizen of India. He deserves it.
So can I go and get myself some water? Because I don't trust half of these people and I trust you.
Respect. And I'm going to argue the case out, and your viewers should pay attention because I'm not going to indulge in rhetoric and personal opinion making. I'm going to quote to you two very significant facts. Point number one, Umar Khalid has been actually accused of a hate speech in Amravati in February 2020. And this is, I'm quoting to you, very critical part of that speech. Hear it out. This man is arrested for being anti-national. I'm quoting Umar Khalid. We won't respond to violence with violence. We won't respond to hate with hate. If they spread hate, we will respond to it with love. If they thrash us with lathis, we keep holding the tricolor. If they fire bullets, then we hold the Constitution. If they jail us, we will go to jail singing Sare Jahan Se Acha Hindustan Hamara. The gentleman who spoke before me and my dear friend Ranganathan believe this is anti-national. Before I come to the second point, very important to point out. You know why some people don't like Zoran Mamdani? Because one of the favorites of India since...
People don't like Zoran Mamdani because he's Muslim. No, I heard. I can still hear what he's saying.
2014 has been Benjamin Netanyahu, accused by the International Criminal Court of genocide in Gaza. You know what Zoran Mamdani said? I will arrest Netanyahu if he comes to New York. You know why the right wing in India doesn't like him? Because he called Narendra Modi a war criminal for the Gujarat riots of 2002.
Also, he is a war criminal.
The hard truths that we need to put in the public domain. Now, here is the interesting part that we need to know. Very interesting. Forget the fact that he's been 6 years in prison and he's not been convicted at all. But now let's look at some facts. Very important facts, okay? Citing fabricated evidence, fictitious witnesses, and I'm quoting the court, citing fabricated witnesses, fictitious witnesses, and foisted cases, Delhi's courts have acquitted the accused in out of the number of acquittals where they were accused earlier, the acquittals are 97 out of the 116 have been acquitted. And guess what the Delhi police has been told? It's been told that there is a clear case of artificial witnesses, fabricated evidence, and a clear attempt to actually distort the entire case against the accused by abusing the power of the police. And we know that the Delhi police reports to the Ministry of
But Mr. Shah,
Home
a
Affairs.
lot of accused have also gotten bail in the last few years. So, that makes me think that this case is far more complex than we think. Anand Ranganathan.
No,
See, she's not letting Jha speak. She asked Jha that question and switched to Ranganathan.
First of all, very happy New Year to my good friend Sanjay Jha. But I was hoping things would change in the new year, but I have been disappointed.
I was hoping.
Look, the issue was now. 1 second, Sanjay. You said you will debunk a lot of. You did not debunk a single fact that I
did.
Had mentioned. In fact, you muddied the water by bringing in some other case. You should have known better. The Delhi High Court has charged and denied bail to Umar Khalid multiple times by saying there is a prima facie evidence of conspiracy perpetrated by Umar Khalid in the 2020 riots case. Here you are reading some speech where he's saying we believe in non-violence and all. Please, the cases are unrelated. He's been denied bail on the conspiracy to commit 2020 Delhi riots.
Prima facie evidence that means that evidence on first glance, not something that is delved into. That is not evidence for a bail hearing. The bail hearing evidence requires you to prove that the person is a threat, that even if they are out, that they cannot be controlled, they are going to run away anyway. This is not the scenario. Even if you have prima facie evidence, get that evidence when you have a hearing, not when you're talking about bail. Bail is different. Evidence that will never be submitted in court, apparently. Exactly. It is never submitted in court. That's why I keep saying, all of the evidence is never enough. That's why the prosecution keeps asking for more time. They are never we are done, this is all we have, let's move on. That is literally never happened up till now. That's why the case keeps moving ahead. I want to know what Raghunathan smokes Modi's dick.
Now, will you apologize? I'm sure you won't, but let me go further. Look, the fact of the matter is not some American saying something meddling in internal affairs of a country. I'm not for that. I'm for anyone saying
Guys, go leave a like and then share
anything about any country.
That's a prima facie order.
But at least speak with facts. Now, for example, if I were to speak with facts and say that China has interned 1.5 million Muslims in concentration camps and is feeding them pork and alcohol, you have an exalted panelist.
If you say that, you are lying. What is he talking about? Is he Uyghur Muslim thing? Is he talking about? That is debatable for one. That is not a fact. He is lying to justify his lie. I think that makes sense.
Out here, Mr. Fawad Aleem. Now, out here, he says, well, the Americans are all very well in their rights to comment on Umar Khalid. Let him say.
Hold on. Tyler Durden is back. I think I'm having an hallucination. Again, if you don't know that reference, please tell me you know that reference. Please tell me you're not a child that doesn't know that reference. You are saying prosecution is doing this and that, and why is the judge allowing? There are two judges, the two judges, and I'm going to be clear about this. The literal fucking two judges that are involved with Umar Khalid's case, that are not giving the fucking bail, are the same fucking judges who let go, who are giving fucking bail to the Sengar guy for the Unnao rape case. Same fucking judges. Don't come at here and say, why are the judges allowing this? Because I'll tell you exactly why. And please, you can go clip it and you can tell it to any one of your Sanghi friends out there. These judges have the BJP and RSS hands so up their asses that their mouth moves like a puppet. That's why the judges are not doing anything. Oh yeah, no, Supreme Court is denying that anyway.
That China has, yes, interned 1 million Muslims, and I condemn it. Let him say it. I challenge you to, ask him that.
Right.
Kumar, you're not a child. I think you just haven't watched, what was the fucking movie's name? What was that fucking movie's name? I forgot the name of movie's name. Please help. What was the Tyler Durden movie? Like I'm making that yeah, Fight Club. Thank you so much, Tyler. See, when I'm talking about politics, I can't remember shit or anything else. I am ADHD and autistic. Yeah. Like I'm talking on a person on Twitch right now. Like you can see the chat here. We are also streaming on Twitch, by the way. Sorry, Tyler. Literally speaking, like I forget names of this shit. Like seriously, don't at me for remembering movie names. Also, just a fun fact: the guy who wrote that book, Fight Club, he has one good book. Everything else fucking sucks. I bought his book thinking that he's a goodish writer because he wrote Fight Club. Fucking shit. Absolute fucking piece of shit book. Like, don't read more from that guy. Anyway.
Fawad Halim is just joining us in a bit, Dr. Ranganathan. But Sanjay Jha, would you respond to that?
Vasudha, I also want to come in.
Yes, Mr. Sajjan, I'll just come back to you, but let Mr. Jha respond to this.
Sure.
Yeah, Vasudha, very quickly, okay? And I quote again, unlike Ranganathan ji, I'm not going to make some tall speech here.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine if it's not your genre. I'm just saying I hate that writer.
No. Let's skip the rhetoric. I can beat you in the rhetoric game. Let's skip that. I'm quoting to you additional Justice Sessions Judge Parveen.
Also, I know you guys, Kumar, you haven't left a like, so go leave a like.
Singh, and this is
come back with a different account and leave a like.
This is what he said. There has been an egregious padding of evidence by the investigating officers. Such instances lead to serious erosion of faith of the people and the investigating process and the rule of law. Can you imagine this accusation happening to the Delhi police that reports to Amit Shah? Now, Zohran Mamdani is, by the way, an international case at the moment because we live in the world of social media. The world is talking about Umar Khalid. By the way, let me tell you, Mr. Modi's government can do what they want. The truth is that today, whether it's an Amnesty International, whether it's the international media, which, by the way, did a whole article on how the RSS has literally captured the entire apparatus of this country, people are going to ask you questions. There is no way you can hide from it. And the abuse of power in the case of Umar Khalid is therefore all to see.
Okay.
It has been made into a conspiracy angle because conspiracy becomes very convoluted and it can therefore drag on infinitely.
Okay, Dr. Ranganathan, India is rejecting international criticism. It's making the country look...
India is always rejecting international criticism no matter how much it criticizes. Again, IMF on GDP is C right now. Like, they have rejected that. India rejects its position in the World Hunger Index, World Happiness Index, World every single index, because nothing is ever fucking good. मैं आते ही कर दिया. Oh, thank you, Kumar. Such a nice boy. नहीं, भरोसा है, man. भरोसा है. It's just me doing YouTube stuff.
Defensive and completely underconfident in its own institutions. That's the allegation. Before I go to
this is why I admire my good friend Sanjay, because once defeated, he keeps on coming. Now, first I caught it.
India fucking rejects the AQI data. AQI fucking data India rejects, and they are about to invent a new system for themselves, saying like, oh, everything is fine. Like the increased hospital visits for people with bronchitis, breathing problems is not like, let's not consider any of that. Let's not consider the actual scientific reading of AQI or particulate matter in the air. Let's just make shit up. Like, what the actual fuck?
When he was not mentioning the Delhi riots case. Now
seriously, when you can't see the person in front of you because they're standing like 10 meters away, what do you think? Like, oh, AQI is so fucking nice in India? Jesus. Like, kitna jhoot bolegi ye sarkar yaar? Kitna jhoot bolegi?
Oh, he mentions some comment by a judge on a Delhi police investigation, not on Umar Khalid's case.
What? Like, the entire point was the believability of the Delhi police under Amit Shah. Anand Raghunathan is stupid.
He's
I don't know
muddying
why
the
he gets
waters even more. I challenge.
I think the only reason why he's here in the first place is because he knows how to scream at least a little bit. But even he's not doing like properly. See, for people who don't know, I'm learning how to sing. Again, yes, he like इतनी भी इज्जत मत दे प्लीज इसको. ग्रिफ्टर के लिए भी दिमाग लगता है. This guy is just screaming, like just, I don't know, looking angry for no reason. Yeah, like before 2014, he was sort of pro-Congress, now pro-BJP. Like he's going where the money is. Yeah, he is grifting. Kumar says AQI is just questionable QAI. Lol. Anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah, so for people who don't realize, people who don't know, who are not part of like the Discord or whatever, I'm learning how to sing. There is a thing that I still can't really do, but it's called as call register. It's where you open up your throat to push out air like you're screaming. You're basically screaming like, ah. So the issue with Raghunathan right now is if you want to speak like Arnab Goswami, you need to use do call register basically. You need to work on your call register where you need to open up your throat and speak so it doesn't sound forced. It's like when you're really angry and you're just going at it, like your throat opens up because you're angry. Raghunathan sounds suppressed. And that's why he sounds fake. Because he is fake. He's acting basically. But he's not even a good actor. Again, I don't even know. I don't know why he has a doctor in front of him.
Him to tell me whether this comment by the judge.
See, his voice sounds like a little bit forced. I'm forcing myself to speak loudly. Oh my fucking God.
Was made on Umar Khalid's case. And by the way, if all this is true, can you please tell me why repeatedly High Court is denying bail to Umar Khalid?
Do you again, hand so much up someone's ass that their mouth moves like a fucking puppet?
Vasudha, let me just tell you straight. Yeah. Anand doesn't have an argument. He doesn't have to switch to part. This is the Delhi riots case.
Justice Chandrachud has spoken about the reasons why bail was denied to Umar Khalid.
No misinformation.
The case is really complex.
No disinformation. You're lying.
No, but Mr. Jha, how would you look at the complex?
The case is not complicated here. Let me just be clear and speak for everyone. Jha doesn't have a way to pause this lady. The case is not complicated because this is not a hearing for a case. It's a hearing for bail. Completely fucking different.
Of this case, because this is one man who has not been given bail. A lot of other people have been given bail. He's been charged with conspiracy angle, and of course,
they were just making the point that 70% of the people are not given bail. But a lot of other people are given bail. Okay, fine, move on.
In one of India's most stringent laws, clearly there's more than what meets the eye, isn't it?
After this stream, police is going to pay me visit tomorrow. First me. Don't worry, your information is not out. Don't worry.
Well,
Mr. Jha.
Vasudha, let me tell you.
They'll contact the channel to suppress it, and I'll be like, oh, fuck you. You're not governing this channel. It will be unavailable. But because we do live streams, we don't really need people to come back and talk. But agar ye channel suppress ho gaya, and if people have no access to this, I need all of you people to actually start posting about streams. I can't be the only one doing it. Anand Shitnandan. JNU product? Oh, come on. JNU is a good university. At least was. I don't know. JNU protests as much as they happen. I still have hope. There's a lot of good people over there. But seriously, guys, you need to start posting about the goddamn streams, man.
No, Kapil Sibal, who's been fighting his case. And I think, Kapil Sibal has said it publicly.
What? Who's a scientist? Raghunathan is a scientist. Yeah, obviously, JNU is ruined by BJP. Tell me, Raghunathan is a scientist, Tyler? What the actual fuck? I need to go check. I figured as much कि banda is not like a medical doctor, though medical doctors in India are as stupid as possible. Like honestly speaking, like सच में बोलता हूँ, this is my personal opinion. Medical doctors in India are like trained as technicians. They are not trained as doctors. If you have any issue with a doctor, no, they don't know more than a technician. I need to check this. Anand. Okay, so is he in IT or prominent? Okay, prominent. Okay. Oh Jesus, he has biochemistry in tuberculosis and malaria. लौड़े का इसको दिमाग है. He talks like this. Fucker. I am so fucking surprised. Dude, ये क्या material है? Like, I am a scientist myself. He has a BSc in chemistry. Jesus. Such a fucking grifter, man. Oy, oy, oy. Who talks like this? You're taught to talk. Is this how you fucking talk? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, okay, he has a PA, he's like BA in Tripos, Natural Sciences, MA and PhD, postdoctoral from Cambridge, returned to India. I think this is why. He returned to India. That's why he's like really like betrayed from India, and that's why he's doing this. Like isko pata chala paise ke bina kuch nahi hone wala hai. Indians are paid shit all in India as scientists. That's why he's doing all of this. I understand. I understand. Education in India just follows banking model, doesn't teach how to think critically. Indian education is just as mugging. Exactly. That is exactly what it is. But now I understand him. Like, I genuinely understand him. Like, agar kal, I shit you not, this guy came back to India in 20, what? He ran his lab for 16 years as staff research scientist. He did not have a decent job, by the way. In Delhi, that too. Like staff research scientist is no one. Like, it is no one. Like, no one, you don't want to be a staff research scientist. For 16 years, that's a way too long to be a staff research scientist. In 2015, he joined a special center. Oh, hold on, मैं दिखाता ही हूँ ना. Like, रुको. मैं भी किधर मेरा खुद से पढ़ाई कर रहा हूँ. We'll read about him. We'll laugh at him together because this is laughable. Okay, like. Thank you for telling me. Like, I did not know this. I did not know why he was doctor. I was not going to give him the time of my day to go check. Thank you so much. Exactly. Literal goal of education is to have people think critically. See, we covered this, no? Like ye last stream mein ya last to last stream mein, we covered this. There's a reason why education is affected the first, like, to think critically is what you are denied from doing. Like Nazi Germany mein aur kya hi kya hai. Arey, see, they decimated Indian critical thinking altogether because right wing requires you to stop thinking critically for it to work. Like, okay, I'm gonna move this quickly so you guys can see. Like, दिख रहा है तो बोलो because दिख रहा है मेरे को, ठीक है. BSc honors in chemistry from St. Steve. He ran his lab. Anand returned to India to join International Center of Genetics and 16 years staff research scientist tha bhai. Obviously he's turning right wing. Bande ka pura career stopped over there. You are not like staff research scientist for fucking 16 years. Yeah, so this is even worse. Like his prominent professor, his father head of IIT Kanpur is even worse. He grew up in basic privilege and couldn't even get beyond 16 years as staff research scientist. Iska IQ is lower than like normal Sanghi IQ. 2015, he joined Special Center for Molecular Medicine in JNU, became a full professor. Okay, becoming a professor in India is very easy. Like as compared to anywhere else. Like Banda returned to India. That's why I think he's very sad. Ki, like India mein, like कास्ट रिलीजन और सकिंग ऑफ मोदी गवर्नमेंट के अलावा इज्जत नहीं मिलती आफ्टर 2014. तो बंदा इज लाइक मेरे को इज्जत चाहिए, मेरा नॉर्मल इज्जत नहीं मिलता, सो आई एम गोना बी ग्रिफ्टर फॉर राइट विंग नाउ. His lab, like, also let me just be clear, people don't know this. I know this because I started off in biotech. In 2015 they halved the budget of biotech research in India 2015-2016 में. So बंदे का जॉब गया होगा वहां पे. His library works in Delhi and became a full professor. His lab works on directed evolution and pathogenesis with special emphasis on TB and malaria. I have never heard of his any research in this field and have researched about this because I like to be known. I like to be well known with this stuff. Scientific contributions from Andhra have been published in peer-reviewed journals. Okay. I need to check this. Okay, इसकी इज्जत आज उतारनी है तो है. Okay, so forgive me. Yeah, exactly. In biotech, like I don't think you guys know this, but this journal is fucking shit. 3.5 impact factor, 7.5 site score for JBC is fucking shit. No one fucking publishes in this, especially for biotech research. Impact factors, like, this is like bottom of the barrel. What the fuck is a 35% acceptance rate for research papers? What is this? हर चीज में they have, yeah, exactly. They go, the reason why they go after like higher studies, because it destroys critical thinking as a whole, which is amazing for if you want to push for, like, what's the word for it? If you want to push for authoritarian regimes and fascism in general, you have to go against critical thinking. Because if people don't think, people don't question the government, and they become docile, fascist governments start building up momentum. Hold on. No. Where is this? Can't even find this fucking journal, man. Okay, so this second journal, apparently what he is like so proudly stating, chemistry and biology is not even in production anymore. It died. He appears frequently on television debates on politics, media, and science. Hi. He writes storybooks. Okay. Like, nothing bad about writing storybooks, but like Hindus for Hindu Rashtra, like legit storybook. India's Forgotten Scientist. I swear to you, if this book, like, if this book needs to be talking about like Indian women, right? This book talks about Indian women, right? Because they are the true forgotten scientists. Upendranath Brahmachari conjured a potent drug to vanquish the specter of Kala Azar, saving millions of... This is about a guy sucking off a guy, isn't it? Jesus. Like, what the fuck, man? Why is he even there? Like, iska kya hai matlab? I don't understand this guy.
That the entire...
Hold on. I need to... Yeah.
Judiciary too will have to look within to say, how have you handled a case where the hearings have continued for literally for almost a year and deferred and deferred and deferred. You think people of India are watching all this? Vasudha, you are one of the finest anchors I have met in recent times. I can tell you your program today is being watched by people. Don't forget, the CAA was a protest were happening all over the country, not just by Muslims alone, by every citizen of this country. Nobody called for violence. Nobody went. Shaheen Bagh was not an attempt at violence. In fact, I want to call something else. Who was the man who said, press a button and send an electric shock across to the other person? That to me is a call for violence. What about Parvesh Verma? What about Anurag Thakur? What about Kapil Mishra's speeches? They are not provocative. Let Anand Ranganathan answer that. Anurag Thakur's speech.
I am not online on Twitch. Yeah, fine. I'll keep an eye. Don't worry. हम इतने थोड़ी ना popular है आज.
Parvesh Verma's speech, Kapil Sharma's speech, Kapil Mishra's speech.
Now, this is bordering on embarrassment. He is talking. Shaheen Bagh did not promote.
Literally embarrassment is Anand Raghunathan, man. Jesus, ये क्या घटिया आदमी है?
Violence, really disgruntled, hate.
Talk to me about Anand.
Like, I shit you not. Yo. How proportional is the truth rather than media, meaning it is all fear bait, or is it going to be 100% conflict with Venezuela, now possibly Mexico? Proportional is a truth rather than media, meaning is this all fear bait? So the Venezuela conflict right now is fear bait. It is quite literally based on Trump wants the oil. That's why he's saying, we are going to be anti-drugs and we are attacking Venezuela and putting up Maduro on drug charges. That is why they are going in Venezuela. Mexico, I don't know with Trump. You cannot trust Trump. But okay, Trump recently gave a full pardon to, hold on, let me just put you here, because legitimately, I'm not even joking. My mod said Bliss, she's the mod, she said I'm going for 5 minutes, you manage if ever new people came. I'm no one new is gonna come, and she showed up. So thank you very much. Please follow, like, and subscribe. We are also on YouTube, by the way. So anyway, I don't know about Trump. Trump recently pardoned a drug trafficker, if you remember, in I think November, early December. Then now he's attacking Venezuela on the guise of drugs. He has said that he really likes. He has said, horrendous president. Yeah, he has said he really likes. Who's the lady for Mexico? I forgot her name. Fine. He said he really likes her, but Venezuela is Mexico is getting into cartel dominance, and there's a lot of cartel, so he might attack them. But then again, he also might attack Denmark. You can't tell with fucking Trump. He's all over the place. What I would say, Claudia Sheinbaum. He really likes Claudia Sheinbaum, but you never know. They started to incite a riot in Mexico as well recently. CIA did that. That was very clearly CIA. This conflict is 100% with Venezuela for oil. Mexico doesn't have a direct profit for the capitalist owners of US, like Shell, BP, etc. Oil companies do not have a direct involvement with Mexico. So there's a very good chance that they're not going to attack it over this. So I'm not too worried about Mexico right now. I'm really not. So Mexico will be fine for now. Venezuela, they are looking for Machado to come in.
Blocking streets illegally, inconveniencing lakhs of commuters for no rhyme or reason except to display a show of strength. Tera mera rishta kya? Have you forgotten? La ilaha illallah. Hum leke rahenge jinnah wali azadi, hindutva ki.
Oh, by the way, CJ Soquil, I fucking love your display picture. Okay, seriously, I fucking love it. It is guts. I am not even joking. Before you came in, I had my mug with me. That mug was literally like a berserk mug. I'll just bring it back. I'll show you again. Yeah, okay. Aman, seriously, we covered that. You were not there. We took your name like 3 times. So I'll just give you a nah, Berserk is too tough. Yeah, I mean, I love fucking Berserk. CJ Social. Nah, Berserk is, yeah, fucking, like, I don't know what you mean by tough, but fucking amazing. Berserk is love. Anyway, yes, you missed China part. China, Claudia has improved working conditions for class Mexicans by making changes in labor law. So that does, yeah, see, that has pissed Trump off and his cronies, but Mexico is not going to affect the capitalistic nature of US. The issue with Venezuela, or like Israel, the issue with Venezuela itself is that it was a friendly nation to Iran, which Israel opposed. So Israel had a stake in it, taking over. Machado, that's why, was so lovey-dovey with Trump and Netanyahu. They want, obviously, the oil because American economy is going to crap. They need to start a war to get some oil and sell that oil. So that's why Venezuela is important. Mexico, on the other hand, doesn't pose any of these threats. They are not overall against Israel. They are not overall against America. The only thing Trump can talk to them is about oh, look, they are pushing fentanyl in. But even that is more of a electoral thing. That is not as much of oh, we are going to attack them, because even with this, that is an amazing talking point for winning elections in New Mexico or Texas or whatever, to keep showing them oh, there is a devil right across the border. That was not the case. I would think that, especially with international policy is concerned, with American international policy and their international policy about elections, they would keep Mexico as a constant demon. How we keep everyone around us, Bangladesh, as a constant demon. Yes, you missed the China part. Basically, I'll give you the TLDR. The China part is that China is not going to give a shit, mostly because China is trade maxing. It is not the messiah people think it is. It is going to do it for its people. That is fair. It is not going to give a shit about Venezuelans as long as it can trade. That's why Trump announced right after that it is because Trump has such a good relations with Xi. He's going to keep the trade that was on with Venezuela and China on. He's not going to have more tariffs. He's not going to have anything other more. And this is only about Venezuela and whatever. There is no reason for China to interfere. Absolutely none. You can talk about what about empathy? But there has not been an empathy first international policy in this world other than Spain and Ireland and South Africa, for that matter. They are the only ones. They are even talking about oh, we need to be empathy first. Realistically, how will this conflict affect day-to-day of people? Depends on where you live. Very much depends. I don't know where you live. If you live in America, it will affect where you kind of need to go out and talk about. Trump is literally invading another country and pushing America into another war for absolutely zero reason. If you live in South America, obviously you're affected directly. If you live in Europe, you need to talk about this because a lot of European countries are going to support this. If you live in India, Modi has made India so feckless. I'm starting to think this might... Are you joking? Because it is fucking about oil. We were here how long? How are we? How long? It's been 3 hours. We have been talking this is exactly all of this is for oil. We are even moved to a different topic and now we're coming back to this. It is about fucking oil. It has always been. This is the same thing that happened with Iraq. Anyway. Oh yeah, go the fuck out. Seriously, this is the time where your ass needs to be on the road, my friend. Yeah, that's why China, I said, is being toothless. The world is not bipolar. US hegemony will still continue. I'm not sure about US hegemony and the world not being bipolar. Again, see, China gains nothing from supporting Venezuela at this point if Trump is offering it everything already. The world may be bipolar, but the poles need to fight for something to, like, friction to happen. If the poles are aligning with each other, like, Chinese foreign policy is inherently capitalistic, while its internal policy is communist, right? That is why they are not going to give a shit about Venezuelans. Why should they? The next thing Venezuelan people need to do is get fucking nukes, because, like, this is like now an outspoken fucking rule. If you are in this world, if you are someone who does not have nukes, get the fuck nukes first. The only reason America did not invade India, for example, during the 70s, nukes. Or it doesn't invade North Korea, nukes. Why it doesn't go against Russia directly, nukes. Why it doesn't go against China directly, nukes. Syria's pro-Russia China government is gone. Assad's gone. Same in Venezuela. Maduro is gone. Yeah, that is exactly what is going to happen eventually. They are going to dominate anyone they can, because US foreign policy works on dominating others, being in a constant state of war. America, even if they have said, oh, this is peaceful time, they still were at war. I am always going to be saying this. I'm sorry, again, cis social. US has never been in war to protect its territory. Whatever bullshit that Americans are fed, it is frankly a bit too much. Like, their entire, like, I have seen US propaganda in US, and all they say is like, oh, our troops, our veterans are protecting us, are protecting our interests. They are fucking not. They are protecting the interests of goddamn oil companies. That's literally what happened in fucking Syria. Sorry, Iraq. Again, Syria as well. But, like, this is happening in Venezuela as well. The people who bombed Venezuela today were not protecting American lives. They were not. Because Venezuela has never threatened America. Venezuela has not threatened literally anything concerning the US. Maduro has gone back and again saying that he's going to work with US and with Trump, and Trump is the one icing him out for most of these things. Why the fuck would Venezuela go against fucking America? It is a fucking superpower right up its doorstep, right within the... Like, they don't even have to use fucking nukes. They didn't even have to use fucking airplanes to do this. They could have just sent a fucking missile from mainland America. Literally, like, Venezuela was not a threat to anyone or US safety. Why are the fucking military there? They are there for US oil interests, not US overall interests. And yes, Morshu O Gurun, it is about oil. Ay. So fucking stupid, man. So fucking stupid. Like to the amount of, like, if I don't know. Okay, so this is going too much into America and sure, whatever. But whatever. Everyone, we're going to go into this rabbit hole for a second. Out of all of what you think, like everyone who's here, why do you think US doesn't give a shit about its veterans? US doesn't give a shit about its veterans. You can talk about, like, even Israeli veterans get so much more. Indian veterans get more. Russian veterans get more. Why do you think US doesn't give a shit about its veterans? Why did Trump cut on veteran spending so much in the past few years? Any answers? Nah, fine. I'll just tell you. Is because even they know US veterans are useless. They do not want US veterans coming back from Iran, Iraq, now Venezuela, or whatever, to stand. Okay, I will talk about this. Iraq, Iran, whatever, to stand against the government, because a lot of veterans who come back from all of these places realize that they were never fighting for America, they were fighting for an oil company. That's why so many veterans who are still able to stand go against the government. That's why veterans are suppressed and oppressed. Secondly, they Because America is not under constant threat of its border being penetrated. It does not have to take care of its veterans, because only countries which have a border issue take care of its veterans, because they need to show that, look, there is a threat, we are being attacked, there is an issue, we need all of the support, even the veteran support we need all of it, because they know when people go to war, they see the truth. And if people see the truth, and if they believe that is such, it is fine. Then you can take care of them. If it's not, and then you take care of them, they speak against you. Because people are not stupid. That's why America does not give a shit about its veterans. Because it has never fought a war for its borders. It has never fought a war other than a war for its capitalistic and economic interests. Like, why do you think like Israel takes care of its veterans as much as it does with American money, but Americans don't take care of its own veterans? There's a reason for it. Bliss, Kumar is asking, Bliss, why did she dedicate her prize? Kumar, you're confusing Sheinbaum, which is the president of or prime minister of Mexico, with Machado, who is the opposition leader and who won the Peace Prize of Venezuela. We were talking about someone asked here, like, is Venezuela like, is Mexico going the same line as Venezuela, which is not the opinion of me, at least. That's the difference. Like, you're confusing Sheinbaum with Machado. I mean, better than me. I didn't even remember Sheinbaum. Okay, so let's move forward.
Shahada replacing Ashoka Chakra, children wanting to kill Modi.
Doctored videos of
Khalid was.
Like, this guy just lying at this point. Like, they call it a face-off, but it's like not a face-off. It's just one person is just straight up lying at this point.
An active participant and a better in all this. And the High Court knows this. You're not a judge, Sanjay, neither am I. Please leave it to the judges who know what they're doing.
Video on Z News.
Okay, we'll have to go to Ambassador Sajjana
Talk
now.
about
Ambassador Sajjana, thank you so much for waiting so much.
And Kapil Mishra's speech.
You know what that means. I know what that means. That means I'm going to jail for saying this, but you know what it means.
Yeah, I want to ask you.
Yeah, no answers.
Yeah, how can such global comment?
Imagine if any other country in the world bombed the US and kidnapped I know, fucking exactly, right? That is the whole fucking point. Like, that's the international US hegemony.
He also set the precedent
Go tell it to Durden earlier. He was just crying over this. That is the difference.
Internationalizing of some of these domestic legal cases, because this does not make India look nice, isn't it?
No, but I think India
is not looking nice anyway. Anyway, it is not fucking looking nice at all. India has not looked nice since Modi came into power. How, like, what is their line? Like, come on. Obviously it does. Like, all of these people, like, need to get the fuck out of India by at least using a fucking VPN and check international news about fucking India.
Is strong enough to make sure, that all these international pressures will have no impact whatsoever. As I mentioned right at the beginning, our democracy, our judiciary,
electoral autocracy,
is very self-confident. It's not going to be pressurized. We have seen very many
it should be
attempts from the international community to pressurize us. And I can,
the international community is saying that get your fucking ass straight. Like, stop shitting on your own fucking democracy every 5 seconds. That is what the international community is saying. They are saying, we don't believe you.
Like some of the other panelists here on this, they have gone absolutely on a tangent to other cases. I can also go there, whether it is the CTBT. You look at what is being done right now as far as trade is concerned. So much of pressure. Do you think India is building? The whole world has built it.
What the fuck is he talking about?
Every country from the developed to developing, India has not. India has stood firm. India can.
Literally, I am not even kidding. India is not standing firm. India has one of the highest tariffs against itself. in America, India is down on every single metric of personal freedoms. India is down on media freedoms, personal freedoms, happiness index. It's getting higher on the hunger index. Social justice has gone down. There is increase in anti-Muslim violence in India. Standing firm in what? Being a fascistic country at this point?
Stand firm. Let us be confident of that. Let us not threaten the judiciary by saying the whole world is watching, India is watching.
Shit, you have to be saying that in India. Quite literally, because the judiciary is fucking lying.
Right. Let them watch. India is a transparent society. India.
Okay. I need to be clear with you, everyone. India is not we did a live a few 6 months back. India is not transparent. I'm so sorry. India has become there are new IRTI laws that state that you can't have information about people, of contractors, of personal laws. Contractors who are like public servants, but your personal information can be sold to anyone by the government directly. Sanchar Sati. The what was the word for it? The income tax department or like the taxation department can directly infiltrate your phones whenever it can. The rule is out. So if you are even they even suggest that, hey, you have created, you are doing tax fraud or whatever it may be. You as a person are not allowed to have personal privacy because we are accusing you. Not that we have proof, that we are accusing you. That's why you need to show us your phone, your social media or whatever. Just on an accusation. So tell me again, free country? Transparent country? No. Whenever there are elections, whenever you point out some issue with the elections, they see, oh, there is this issue, here is an issue. They remove that factor itself from that information. Okay, first it was like number of people who voted. They were like, oh, we have election fraud because the number of people who voted is wrong. They made a rule, you can't see the number of people who voted. Then there is the whole thing about, we need the CCTV footage of people voting just to cross check. They are not going to give, and we are going to delete it within 30 days. That is transparency in India. Where if you ask for something and if it goes against the government, it gets deleted. Or there is a law saying that you can't ask for it anymore.
There's a transparent judiciary. The media is very free. Everything is being deliberate.
The media, honestly, this lady should start laughing at this point, like the one in the middle, because India has gone down significantly on the press freedom chart.
Here, just by reading one speech, you have to not only look at what the talk is, whether the person is walking the talk, what are the actions following, and that again, I would agree. None of us here is, a lawyer or in the judiciary. Absolutely. I also know Mr. Kapil Sibal very well. Of course, he's arguing Umar Khalid's case. He will make that argument to make his case very, very strong. But leave the matter to the judges. And that is what they are doing.
Kapil Sibal has a
view. They are very clear about it.
Chandrachud also has a view. So we are listening to both of them, right? So that's well said, Ambassador Sajanhar. But Fawad Halim is back with us. Dr. Halim, everybody is free to express their views. I agree with that. But Mamdani now occupies a constitutional post. Umar Khalid.
He said it before, not after, so it doesn't really count, but they are not going to take that into consideration.
Khalid's matter is in the Supreme Court. Doesn't this letter also raise concerns about somebody sitting out there in the West trying to meddle in internal affairs of India, especially in...
It does not. The letter is not recent.
It's judicial affairs.
Well, there are two letters that are being discussed at the moment, and to actually not discuss the two letters separately is giving in to the conspiracy that the far right in India would like us to indulge in. So the first thing, as I said, the first letter written by Mamdani is a personal note, and that personal note should be taken as such. The other letter that has been sent off to the ambassador of India to the USA has been sent by congresswomen and representatives of the Senate. And Pramila Jayapal, who is a representative in the Senate, has been part of that letter. And one should be very clear that the government of India should respond to that letter. And the government of India has still date not responded to that letter, and quite a bit of time has passed. So we see some dilly-dallying on part of the government of India.
Okay.
As far as we are concerned,
India has been dilly-dallying about every single issue currently about international politics, even with Bangladesh. They have not given an answer about what they are going to do with Sheikh Hasina.
Communist Party of India Marxist is very clear that these detentions, which have continued over a prolonged period of time, of 10 activists who are in jail without due process of law, they should be given the benefit of how the Indian judicial system works. They should not get the bail. They would not like the judicial practice to handle all cases with an even hand. And it is very clear, this partisan attitude of the government of India at this point of time and the people who form the government of India is going to impact the judicial system adversely, because the confidence of the common people in the judicial system is based on the fundamental experience that the judicial system works impartially across all religions, across all castes, across all.
We have seen multiple times that it does not.
Sorts of
there are multiple Muslim men and women in India that have been incarcerated without bail, without a reason, only for the sake that they are Muslims. We know that. We have seen that happen.
Because they consider the citizens of India to be one and equal. Now, if that gets challenged, then unfortunately the judicial system will come under scrutiny and people will lose confidence in that. So that's that's our party's basic assertion.
So prove it that India's judiciary is unbiased and get him a fucking bail hearing. A bail hearing is not a assumption of guilt or innocence. It is just a temporary stopgap before you can actually have the actual judicial process run.
India needs to respond to the US Congress members writing that very important letter, because personal liberties are at stake. And, this is an important argument that Dr. Halim has pointed out, because that letter clearly asks for a bail and a fair trial. Would you see that as an overstep?
Well,
he hasn't gotten bail or a fair trial up till this point, so it is not an overstep. But they are going to say something differently.
I see that very clearly as something that the government of India...
Dr. Ranganathan.
Yeah, no, I mean, Dr. Halim continues to be a hero for
Shah is just copying Ranganathan at this
me.
point.
He's a doctor, he's a COVID hero, but this is something else. So please permit me to indulge in him and ask him a couple of questions. One, does he believe that China has interned 1 million Muslims in concentration camps? And number two,
how does China matter in this conversation?
Can he show me one instance where he or his party CPIM condemned that Colonel Purohit was incarcerated without bail for 8 years and his trial dragged on for 10 years? One instance.
Well, I think so. Anand Ranganathan, who's a researcher in biomedical, molecules, I have great respect for him also. But this being another thing, he has distracted away from the question that is running on the scroll at the moment. And the very reason that he runs away from the question that is running on the scroll at the moment is because he doesn't have answers to the concrete question. The government of India is yet to respond, and I think so. Anand Ranganathan should be the first person asking his own government as to why they are not.
I think we'll take this question to Sanjay Jha. Sanjay Jha, respond to that. Sanjay Jha.
Yeah, Vasudha, I have one point to make. Okay, and this is critical because it concerns everyone watching your program. not just us because we are on your panel. The Supreme Court, on hundreds of occasions of late, has been talking about the bail is the norm. All right. So my question through you to the eminent honorable judges in the Supreme Court is, why is Umar Khalid an exception to your own articulation? Can we incarcerate an individual in jail, no matter what the charges against him, if they are not proven? He's not convicted. He's in jail.
Justice Chandrachud spoke about this, but because we don't have a justice on the panel, Dr. Ranganathan, please respond to that.
I've already done so. Yeah. Bail is not the rule. There are conditions for bail.
I forgot this. The government quite literally keeps saying the bail is a rule
that the judges themselves rely and decide upon. For example, you may coerce a witness. For example, you may intimidate a lot of people. The forces, the executive, the legislature. So there are conditions for granting bail. Are they not? I mean, I'm amazed at the ignorance
but Dr. Ranganathan, there is one thing. Prolonged detention also raises, issues of civil liberties. How is India going to recognize that? Because there's a young person who has been incarcerated for such a long time.
Absolutely. And I myself have spoken about it. I myself am aghast at our national statistics. 75% of all Indian prisoners are under trial. This is shocking data. But to say that, release Umar and let the others, let us not talk about it, is doing disservice to the process of justice itself.
Okay, Mr. Jha, respond to that, sir.
Yeah, let me tell you, everyone who watches TV program and has seen how many people from the opposition have been hounded by this government and put in jail, process is the punishment. The idea is to give you a chill that, hey, listen, we can come after you, throw you in a jail, you get a bail, but you're stuck with it for the rest of your life, right? It's a form of intimidation and harassment. Here is the fundamental point. I quote it to you. The courts have themselves questioned the Delhi police investigating the Delhi riots case of 2020, saying there are multiple cases of fabricated witnesses being forced to make statements under all kinds of pressure, and worse, the way they have actually created, according to the evidence on record, fake cases. So this whole case is viciously political, and we all know why. Mr. Umar Khalid is a Muslim. He is from JNU. We know how much this government loves the JNU. He's a scholar. We know how anti-intellectual this government is. He's unfortunately a leftist, which according to this government is an urban Naxal who's a threat to India. We are dealing against a political party that is insecure and at core fascist. Okay. Let me repeat that if I
remarks from all of you. Dr. Ranganathan, I'll come to you towards the end. Dr. Halim, what about your closing remarks, sir? Because I understand Zoran Mamdani's politics is so much about, being rooted in left secular and minority rights movement. But what does he gain out of this? Why is he trying to do this?
Well, it's very clear that Zoran Mamdani identifies with some of the issues that Umar Khalid has voiced himself on. And he finds, after reading his book, that he should express his solidarity to his family. And at a very personal level, he is given a personal note.
But this is also oversimplification of a complex case, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Solidarity among people who are facing the establishment, especially Zoran fighting against the entire fascist or neo-fascist structure in USA at this point of time, led by Trump, and Umar Khalid fighting the battle against Narendra Modi. But there are similarities. Whenever fascist forces raise their heads, the people who fight them, they expect solidarity for each other.
Travelers, that's an important point. Ambassador Sajjan Har, your closing remarks.
My closing remarks are basically that in the normal cases, bail might be the rule, but here, of course, the judges have looked at the gravity of
the situation and decided that the hand up their asses is so far down that they can't possibly side with the innocent person in the scenario.
The case. And that is why they have decided that, this does not merit to come under the normal rules. So I think we shouldn't really be arguing it and, flogging that horse over and over again. The other issue that is mentioned is that the government should respond to this letter. I don't know, frankly, when this letter was written. I have just come to know about it today or yesterday. Now, this is fine. I'm sure the official spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs is going to give a comment on that. But it is not an issue that, one should expect that if the letter has been issued in the morning, then by the afternoon my government should respond. No, I think all issues have to see what is the importance of that in the overall scheme of things, and then they will respond. Of course, every government also needs time to consider in what way to respond. Right. The last point that I want to make here is that I know number of names on this. All of them are what are called the extremists as far as the Democrats are concerned, where Zoran Mamdani also comes from. So I think their being anti-Indian in their position, that is not surprising. Okay. So fine, let them write, and I think Indian government...
They are not anti-Indian. Jesus Christ, this guy is so fucking stupid.
Will respond
Dr. Ranganathan, respond to all of that. And my very important question, it's not about perception. How is India going to look at its own realities and ensure that our national security laws in some ways balance rights and security so that these questions on civil liberties, personal liberties don't get, are not raised often against us?
No, look, I'll just finish in one sentence. Umar Khalid, who believes India has occupied Kashmir and who is charged with conspiracy to commit riots, has been denied.
Charged, not proven. Let me just get this clear.
Bail, not just once or twice, but 6 times by
hand up someone's ass.
Various courts. Simple question to my good friend Dr. Halim is, yes, Modi might be fascist. Tell me, sir, 6 times bail has been denied to Umar Khalid. Is the judiciary fascist? Yes or no?
I mean...
Yeah, Mr.
Well, as I said very clearly, I think so. I have 2 anchors on this show. I didn't know since when NDTV has had employed 2 anchors.
Sir, we couldn't connect to you most of the time.
But anyway... Yeah, no, it's very good. I think so. Anand Ranganathan is asking questions on behalf of the Modi government and as well as NDTV. So I don't mind that. That's the way things are evolving in India. And that will be reflected across the whole spectrum.
You can also ask him a question. I will get him to answer that. Please do that.
Well, I asked him a question. He did not choose to answer it.
You're free not to answer his question, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. So my response is very clear that if we find in India people who have their immense confidence in the judiciary, if that does not sustain itself by the behavior of the judiciary, definitely the judiciary will come under the scrutiny of the people. The people are always above all institutions in India. The constitution starts with we the people. Everything follows suit to that.
Quickly, Dr. Ranganathan, before I wrap the show.
No, look, this is, much as they would have liked to portray this, and they have portrayed many instances, that this is at the...
No, he's just a stupid.
The beck and call of Modi. But right now, they dare not do it because they know the fact, they know the truth. The bail has been denied by various courts 6 times.
Everyone does, but we have to sit here and suffer. So if people watch, when people watch this again, they know that he's fucking lying.
It's not just that the Modi government is denying and doing this.
Literally hand up someone's ass.
Fascist enterprise. So they're running around, scurrying around like rabbits, don't know what to do, what argument to put on the table next. Okay. But
that's literally what is happening.
Typical of communists.
Okay. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast as international voices win and Indian courts.
Final thing that we are going to cover right now, and then we are going to stop because we have been going on for quite a while. So this is Trump's threatening Gustavo Petro, Colombian president. Exactly. He should be in jail. Like he did say Israel should do Israel-like operation in Kashmir, which it already is doing.
And today he said he's not concerned about anything happening to him in the aftermath of this operation. So just what your message is about that.
Well, he has cocaine mills. He has factories where he makes cocaine. And yeah, I think I stick by my first statement. He's
pretty sure he's not okay. Like Trump may be off for the new world.
He's making cocaine. They're sending it into the United States. So he does have to watch his ass.
Like seriously speaking, Colombia may be invaded next. I don't like CJ was asking about Mexico, but Mexico I think is safer than Colombia. Anyway, thank you guys for coming here. Thank you everyone for coming. If you're new, please subscribe. We have a Discord if you want to be part of it. There you can suggest topics we can talk about. We can always discuss new topics. All the links that have been posted here and the references to everything is all already on there. If you can go back, check. If you don't find anything, you can always request. It will be sent to you. Again, the Discord, again, as I said, is a safe space. So make sure that it remains a safe space. Thank you so much for coming. Please like, share, and subscribe. Do not forget. I will see you tomorrow, actually. Thank you for coming. Cheers. Goodbye. Shabba khair. See ya.